Fire.
No. We're not playing Football Manager, not to fool you. Just a little start screen here. But thanks for joining us here on Spitfire. Kick that like button. We're going to be talking and breaking down MLS Star signings for every team. Dream! Living the dream here. That's the plan, guys. This was a rough opening. Let's use the editing function. Wow! Fire it up, footballers. Welcome to Spit and Fire, where we're going to be hanging out and talking about dream MLS signings here in 2023. Hopefully we can lure a couple of World Cup players over and maybe even export a few over to Europe on our way. Big changes with MLS, possibly becoming MLS 4.0 before our eyes. You remember MLS, the days of MLS 1.0. When the very first few years of everything happening, then there came MLS 2.0. David Beckham turning down Real Madrid and coming over, and Champions League, come over, start something special in LA Galaxy, in LA Galaxy. And then we had the Miguel Almirons and the Barcas start to come over. You know, it seems to be the same team making those types of moves, but we did see some of those types of moves develop from other teams as well. And maybe that was the dawning of MLS 3.0. And here we are on the eves, now on the at midnight of having seen Gaga Slonina sold for $15 million almost to Chelsea, and more people coming in and out, players coming in and out of MLS, big name players, bigger than ever before. Lorenzo Insigne going to be playing in MLS all season long with Toronto. What other star signings are we going to be seeing on Apple TV? We'll get into that here as well. Maybe even talk a little U.S. men's national team drama. And if you want to hop in the live chat, get and be a part of the discussion, we'll kick it. Let's freaking go, guys. Kick that like button. Greatly appreciate you guys hanging out here and enjoying the soccer and the sports content. Maybe a little gaming on the side whenever when we're able to. And let's have some fun, guys. Let's have some dream signings. I mean, they're going to say, oh, they can't. Oh, they won't. But that's not what this is about. This is the dream thing. Although, you know, if we could bring in a few real reality-based signings into the mix, I think that's going to be fantastic as well. Something we want to see, something we want to hear, and something we want to chat to get involved with. Throw the names. Stir the metaphorical pot. The proverbial pot, if you will. Guys, let's get into it. Spin Fire. Talking MLS dream signings for 2023. For every team. Fire it up, footballers. We're doing another cold open because I think that the music was a little too loud. Fire it up, footballers. Welcome to Spitting Fire. We're going to be breaking down dream signings for MLS 2023. We'll probably bring in a few World Cup players into the conversation, as well as send a few exports along and talk about the development of what is possibly becoming before our eyes MLS 4.0, right? We've seen the days of MLS 1.0 when Piotr Nowak came to Fire and helped them win a championship back in 1997 in the second year of MLS. Of course, the first year of the Chicago Fire. But then later on, we saw the development towards MLS 2.0. David Beckham comes, turns down Real Madrid money, Champions League ability trophy, Champions League trophies to come to MLS, to come to LA Galaxy to start something new. Then we had MLS 3.0. Days when maybe Miguel Almiron came, and even Ezequiel Barca, you could toss into that, even though that signing not looking as great as Almiron. But those were the days of MLS 3.0. Now, here we are in MLS 4.0, where Gaga Slonina is sold to Chelsea for 10 to 15 million, where other players in MLS, Brendan Aronson and his brother, are outbound to European clubs and possibly even Champions League grandeur, where U.S. players are starting to develop like never before. Chat, we got FCNeoTokyo. The second take was the best. That's why we got editing, the power of editing. But we're gonna hop in the chat. We got FCNeoTokyo hopefully sliding into the Discord, talking a little MLS signings with us along with, and we'll get into it. Thanks for joining us here at Spit and Fire. We greatly appreciate you guys along for the ride. Let's go. Boom. And let's make sure the Discord is open, as I so promised. Discord is available. What is up, everybody? Saw some interesting tweets yesterday. Sure you know what I'm talking about. You know the one. The Berhalter Reyna drama just seems to be getting hotter and hotter. We'll be able to talk about that and what we can weigh in on the situation from afar. Seems like silly nonsense. That's the first initial take. But at the same time, when you take a deeper look, there's some concerning stuff underneath the surface, the veneer, right? It's stuff that's, can't be just so previously dismissed like just seemingly did. I'm just giving you the initial reaction. But as always, we'll talk about it here on Spinfire. FCNeoTokyo saying he'll come in through in a few minutes. Do you think there'll be a DPG sighting? I don't know. It's been a few weeks from DPG. Usually, he said he was going to lay a little low during the MLS offseason. But as MLS starts peeking its head above the couch during hide and seek, he says he'll be making an appearance here and there. So maybe the title will get him. Let's see. DPG, of course, 10+ year season ticket holder for the Chicago Fire, and great, awesome guest. I mean, guest, one of the runners of the show. When he's here, it's just when you guys are here, when Toke and DPG are here, it's a different animal. I'm able to post the content differently. I'm realizing things about YouTube, guys. Just real quick, YouTube talk. All right, huddle in. YouTube talk. So Ludwig, this guy has taught me a few things. Yeah, he's younger. Yeah, he's with the kids, what the kids call hip, right? But has taught me a few things about YouTube, and I learned a few things just by picking up. Oh, I'll watch a stream, and then I'll see his video later. I'm like, oh, this video has nothing to do with the stream, the way his stream's set up. But the way his stream's set up, he just goes streams for 7 or 8 hours, and then tosses a couple bucks to somebody to edit his thoughts together in some sort of cohesive manner. Now, I don't have the time or the money to be able to do that. However, I do have the time to be able to do a bit of that, and that's what I've always been doing here, and I'm going to try and do that in an even better fashion going here in 2023, where I'm going to be repackaging the streams into sizable chunks or to good chunks. The other thing I picked up on from Pat McAfee's show, I mean, like, I'm picking up all these things from YouTube's. To me, length of time doesn't matter if the content is there. So, right? If the content is there, the length of time of the video to me doesn't matter. So now that, with that in mind, I'm going to be able to chop these videos up and give you those sections of content. I think, like say we have Toke on for an interview or a talk or discussion, boom, chop that whole section up. Say he's on for an hour and a half, boom, there's that whole hour and a half chopped up. But then we could also take a few subsections of those moments. We'll send out that video as well, and then we could take a few maybe subsections and maybe chop those into little bite-sized, 5-minute pieces of something interesting. On occasion, we'll toss that on the channel as well, and I think that's going to be the YouTube plan going forward. Because I mean, all my content is produced from these streams. You, the chat, you, the live stream, you, the live chat, you, the watcher, the people commenting after the fact when I'm reading it sometimes after. You guys are helping to make the show live and as it happens. So that's the content, and that's the magic, and repackaging that and putting that back out in there to bite-size. But yeah, you guys get it. That's the plan. Oh, and now I'm just repeating myself. So zoom. That's the beauty of the YouTubes. But. So that's the YouTube discussion out of the way, or at least the YouTube plan for now. And also,
Now, FCNeoTokyo is trying to get a hold of me for a couple days now, or at least a week now, trying to hold me down and talk to me about some sort of gaming duo plan, and that we'll potentially look into. If I have the time, we'll certainly be able to be something fun to do. To me, like a two-person let's play, or if when it's me and Toke, I'm fucking laughing my ass off. So that's what I'm thinking. And then we got you guys always trickling in and chiming in and coming up with these great little witticisms. Angus McHorter happening, saying, "Hello, James. How's it going? Hello, Angus. Hello. Cheers, everybody." By the way, having a little of a Carlsberg elephant today. Mrs. Spitfire got me a like 12 things of Christmas types of beer thing with 12 beer samplers, like beers around the world. That type of thing kind of excites me. I'm a sampler. I like variety. So I was like, oh, I'll get to try that out. And I've had Carlsberg before, and it's better than I remember. Tastes very similar. Although this is a slightly different beer than I would usually get from Carlsberg. Or maybe it's the same. They're Pilsner. All right, so chat, plan for tonight is we're going to be dream signing for every MLS team for 2023. Got some awesome articles. We also are going to be maybe even sending some players abroad. And some dream transfers. Let's play Dream MLS tonight and foster in the arrival, the gestation, the creation, the solidification, the edification of MLS 4.0. Let's make it a reality. Here, tonight, let's spin fire. Kick that like button and toss in your most important player that you need to get in MLS right now. To your team, to some other team in MLS, most important player you think needs to get to MLS right now. I know I'm gonna be reading the Leo Messi's. I don't think I'll be seeing too many CR7s. That's the thing. Oh, we're gonna be talking Triple G drama, Reyna and Gregg Berhalter drama. Not even Reyna. More specifically, maybe even his parents. We'll be talking about that here. It's a little bit of a drama, and we'll walk through the muck together. Real quick, Adnan, I do enjoy reading his articles. Have not talked to the guys over at. Have not talked to the guy Sad Boys in a long time. Oh, and we've not spoken in a long time. Something happened, don't know. But still, good to see they're doing well, and I hope they're doing well. Good peeps. The offseason is starting to pick up steam for Chicago Fire. They've already seen some player movement. Okay, yes. So John Espinoza has left Chicago Fire, going to their Swiss team in Lugano. And coming back in return is going to be Maren El Selassie. He's a winger coming from sister club Lugano. Now, he was pushed out by Nacho Aliseda. So we're getting the guy that was pushed out by the guy that was pushed out by over here. Get a load of that, Fire fans. There's also been a fair amount of rumors floating around for the Fire, and it might just be a matter of time until moves are made. What are those rumors? How legitimate are they? Why doesn't she want me back? All of those are fair questions, which is why I'm here right now. Let's take a look at some of the transfer news surrounding Chicago. Now, Ale Arnold. By the time I get to this article published, the news might actually be made official, and it was. For all intents and purposes, it seems like the Fire are going to be bringing in Arnold Suke Ligue 1 Montpellier. There's a chance he'll technically join as a free agent. It seems that that is the case, as the French club will probably release him in January instead of waiting for his contract to run out in the summer. Well, that's not an indictment on him, to be fair, because doing that would allow them to bring in a replacement this month. Either way, he's coming down to Chicago for free, which is an excellent bit of business. Suquet isn't the biggest name, and he almost certainly won't sell any jerseys. Maybe a few, but not really that many. But he should be a really solid addition to the team. The Frenchman has featured in his country's top division for the past 6.5 years. And although he did spend a year away with Belgium with a top side Ghent, he joined Montpellier in 2019, and he's been a consistent presence in the lineup ever since. And you're saying that we could send GGG abroad. Send Berhalter abroad. Now they call him GG, of course, as his name's got 3 G's. 3G. I'm not going to pretend like I'm an avid watcher of Ligue 1. So I've never seen, and so I'm not afraid to admit, I've never seen Suquet play. However, you do not get to that level by accident, and even though he's had a rough campaign this season, there is a reason why he has gotten so many minutes in the past. He is a right back, and think about this, the same thing was happening with Shaqiri, comes over here, performs incredible at the World Cup. Also performed incredible in a Fire jersey. I gotta say, guys, we gotta talk about that more. He outproduced Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale, who won the MLS Cup. Successful season for MLS Bale. Scored the game-winning goal in MLS Cup. But Xherdan Shaqiri outscored Gareth Bale. Outminted Gareth Bale. Out everything Gareth Bale except out-trophied Gareth Bale in MLS 2022. Will that be the case in MLS 2023? We'll get into that and more here on Spitfire, guys. Kick that like button. Thanks for joining me here on Spitfire. No, I did not snort any crack today. I am fucking hyped. I thought of an awesome topic to discuss with you. I'm fucking jacked to the gills. Jacked up on Fruit Loops and Cocoa Puffs. So let's freaking go. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm an average watcher of Ligue 1, so I've never seen Suquet play. He is a right back. He could play as a right back that suits the Fire system. Ezra Injection. See, it doesn't get many goals or assists, but that may be a good thing. He focuses on the defensive side of the game, and that's what Ezra Henderson prioritizes when it comes to his tactics. Boris Sekulic preferred going forward. Now I'm turning Irish. Preferred going forward to tracking back, and that's why things didn't work out for him in the Windy City. It's okay, he's still versatile though. Although it's just Scottish. Oh, according to his positional chart on Transfer Market, he's mainly been used as right back, but he's also played a bit on the right wing. He's also filled in at left back, centre back, and in the center of midfield. Sounds like a very versatile player, very smart player. That's kind of what you want. A baller, just like one of our other great soccer player. We'll get into him here on the Chicago Fire. Talk more about him later. Little hint. And that's about it. Now, new moon on Monday. On the other side of the transfer coin, there have been some developments in the case of John Jader Duran, the Colombian wonder kid. A report came out recently stating that the Portuguese powerhouse Benfica are the new favorites to sign him. And that's an interesting update, because in the past, there's been all kinds of clubs listening to this player that are even a bit bigger in statues. Clubs like Chelsea and Liverpool. Now, that's not a slight on the Liga NOS side, of course, and they actually might be an ideal destination for him. But will they be willing to pay the $20 million Chicago Fire are demanding for him right now? Do they really realistically see that transfer price rising before summer? It's quite possible. Do they see that them losing out on a player to other teams like Liverpool or Chelsea? That's possible. Or other teams coming to sweep in for John Jader Duran, who's been likened to his profile as such players as Lukaku. So many young players who make a jump to the big giant club end up getting lost in the shuffle. They go from being a big fish in a small pond to a tadpole in an ocean. The list of names that has happened to is nearly endless. And there's always a risk that Duran could be the next to suffer this fate. And we do not want him to suffer that fate here in MLS. Of course, should he stay with the Chicago Fire, he's going to be starting every game. We'll get into the starters a little bit later and more about that. But however, the chances of that happening at Benfica are even slimmer. They're a fantastic club when it comes to developing young players. I mean, the likes of Darwin Nunez and Enzo Fernandez, of course, came out of there. They're only just the most recent examples of talents who've made their name at the Estadio Dolores. They've also got plenty of money in the bank, thanks to all their sales. So they should be able to match whatever price tag the Chicago Fire have set. 20 million? They haven't pulled the trigger yet. Price, they might be looking at 15 million to 18 million, maybe a little bit with add-ons, and Chicago Fire is saying, hey, well, we got them locked down for seasons. If you want them, this is the come and get them price.
Wait until 2 more people sell for high dollars, then you can get your 20 for Duran. How you doing, James?
What's going on, Toke? Talking a little
No,
Chicago
what?
Fire. Happy New Year. How you doing?
Yeah, Happy New Year. Yeah, man, what an absolute dumpster fire today and yesterday.
Oh my gosh, you're talking at U.S. Men's National Team Twitter?
Oh, I am, but I'll reel that back because I'm greatly interested in this article. Which sad boy wrote it?
Adnan.
Okay.
Adnan Basic. I'm near the end, of course. But drinking a Carlsberg while I do, and it's about what was I talking about here? Of course, I was talking about John Jader Durant potentially being outbound for anywhere near to 20 million. I don't think they're seeing him at that. They're seeing him at probably 10 to 12 million. But we did just see Gaga Slonina go for what, 15 million? They say it says
Actually,
up
I
to
don't know what that
15
number
million.
was.
It says up to 15 million officially with add-ons.
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably performance bonuses if he ever makes any appearances. Do you think they'll just loan him out right away, or do you think he'll make any appearances?
Gaga?
Like FA Cup, yeah.
So,
FA Cup.
no, they loan him out right away. They already talked about it. That's already been spoken about. Fans of Chicago Fire would love to see him back in a jersey here, but
No,
would Chelsea
that.
would Chelsea want that for his development?
A, that would stunt his development. B, that stunts our team.
And you
Because
talked
why
about
not
it in a
develop
past
Brady?
podcast, right?
Yeah, why not develop Brady? Just let him take his lumps.
Mhm.
It's not like we're gonna be good.
Well, and I want to talk more about Brady because, I'll talk more about Brady when we talk about Chicago Fire specifically and what transfers need to save them. But Brady's going to be an interesting case because their lineup is interesting. How long Ezra Hendrickson's going to be able to stick with Brady, or versus, do they feel compelled to bring somebody in, or do they say, fuck it, we'll take the lumps because look what happened with Gaga Slonina?
I say take the lumps.
Take the lumps too, but that's MLS for you. I'm not worried about the super draft. Didn't that already happen?
Yeah, it did.
And
did we do anything?
Just snooze fest. There we go. So nothing. Have you ever heard of any of these guys? Jorge de Frutas.
That's a no.
He plays for Levante. He's 25.
Okay,
Ross,
I mean,
ooh,
well, here's the wait. When you say that, does he play for Levante, or does he sit the bench, or does he not even make the 18? These are questions we need to ask. But it's the MLS 1.0 and 2.0 was like, well, this guy is signed to this team. It's like, no, bring him in. That's
right.
awesome.
By the way, I think we're now officially we're in MLS 4.0 territory, maybe even 5.0, but the days of 3.0 are over, in my opinion, because it's the next evolution. It's the next step. Right? Would you agree with that?
I would, but I mean, look at the video you put. Hold on, though. Hold on. Let's pimp our boy James here. Even in the video that you released today, we were talking about how the CBA, they actually stunted and slowed down the growth that we could be having in these 4 years leading up to an North America World Cup. Whereas Like, I'm with you. We're on the cusp of 4.0, really. I think real 4.0 is either like 6 DPs or at least like a you know, like a 10-fold increase in the salary cap.
Yeah, get rid of the or yeah, they'll probably never get rid of the salary cap, but they got to do something about it where they got to make it a salary floor.
Yeah, those suck too though, because then you just get a thing like, look at like the tax on English players in England, in the English pyramid. You're gonna get that same thing with American players and just people around out your teams. You know what I mean? I don't know if you actually improve anything that way.
All right, so I'm going to run over some signings from Europe that they're rumored to be coming to MLS potentially. Jorge de Frutas, a guy from a relegated League 2 team. Ross Stewart, Sunderland, 26. He's 6'2". Ilias Chair, Queens Park Rangers, 25. Attacking midfielder. Albert Ellis. Does that name sound familiar?
It does. That's he's the cat from Houston, right? That
Correct.
used to rock the Black Panther mask and do all that on the goal celebrations.
Correct. Before joining Boa Vista in Portugal, now playing for recently relegated Bordeaux in French second tier. Could be time for Ellis to make his move back to North America. Jonathan Tompkinson in Norwich City, 20 years old, center back. Ruslan Malinovsky at Atalanta, 29. He's a midfielder. Andreas Scheldrup, Noord-Zeeland. He's 18. He's a forward. Go ahead, get the next Erling Haaland. Anastasios Duvikis. Speed, strength. FC Utrecht. Crazy name. He has it all. And that's the names apparently rumored that these guys are saying, these guys should, maybe I should take a look at these guys. I
have not heard of a single one other than Ellis.
Yes,
right?
Albert Ellis. Yes,
Albert Ellis. Yeah, that's what it was. But honestly, like, that's a Chris Mullins, right? That hits half the time. The other half the time they come back and they just disappear on a roster. Look at that Kubo Torres, So, none of it's exciting. And I mean, we all know the GM that we're not a huge fan of has roots to Eastern Europe. So it's going to be a lot of Eastern European names, even playing in more like in larger leagues. Right. And that's always kind of scary because you'll get, it just, I don't know, man, that there's a complete lack other than what your first name there of like South American and or Mexican talent on that list. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, it's just nothing getting me excited. Now I could be dumb. Like some of these guys come over, like, who the hell heard of Castellanos before he played for New York? Who thought Bradley Wright Phillips was going to be, he was the brother. You know what I mean? And he turned out to be a huge get for New York. So it's just like, stuff hits, some stuff doesn't, but none of it's exciting. There's just no plan. That's more like you're rounding out the team kind of signings. So it's just like,
I got a couple questions for you. Just to interrupt, because I want to know, if you want face cam, I could patch your face into here if you just fit it in Discord. It's pretty easy for me to do.
No, we're gonna skip that considering my hair, I look like Eraserhead currently. I just got set up real fast. I was debating doing the PlayStation 5 and seeing what was up, but it's a little bit later in the evening. I thought you were gonna get started a little bit earlier.
It's been a little wonky, but yeah, usually I try to get a little started sometimes right around 7. I usually get around between 6:30 to 7 ish. Yeah, I did push it back just a few. I gifted a PlayStation 4.
Gifted.
It's really for the wife. It's really for Miss Pryor, so she could play Red Dead Redemption. she loves playing horsey. But I got God of War for free. I got a couple games for free. I'm one of those idiots.
Ghost
of Tsushima.
Oh, that game's sick, dude. I never finished it though.
Well, I don't want to go pay a whole bunch of $10 here for those games. So I'm like, I'll just pay a couple bucks for this, and I'll just have those games that I want to play for free, and like the big premier games, and eventually some of these more big premier games will end up there. So it'll all be, it's works out to less than 2 premier games cost for a whole year. Where I'm getting, in my head, I'm going to be getting to play 3, 4, 5 premier level games, like AAA level experiences, like the God of Wars.
Oh yeah, no, that's the way to do it. Spider-Man, and I'm sure Miles Morales might be on there.
I already own those on the PC, so I already do have a few of those.
Oh, that's right. You was playing it on stream. I totally forgot.
Yeah, so I do have a few of them, but they are there, and it's a little tempting. But I'm like, I already But now that I have these choices, the one big one that I got to finally get is Bloodborne.
Oh,
for the Dark Souls series. That was one of the first ones I downloaded, so I have that queued up.
You know what Bloodborne would be great for?
I can stream it too, by the way. I have the ability to stream it because I have a card that I could patch in, so I could be able to stream some of this stuff too.
Oh, dude. Oh my God, hold on. Let's retreat. Let's retreat and hit this video game conversation in a second.
Hey, what's the word here? The word is U.S. Men's National Team drama. We're going to be talking about it here in a second.
Yeah, well, you said you had some questions, but before that, I want to say, I want to give you your flowers on the absolute masterclass at pronunciation of all of those ridiculously Eastern European names that the Fire are after.
oh no, those are for the Fire. Those are MLS names.
For real?
Yeah, those are names that MLS are
Fire.
after.
Man, see, I was disappointed for the Fire. If that's just for MLS in general, that's even worse.
Oh, yeah, those were. It was an article saying, "Hey, MLS should take a look at these guys." It's by Joseph Lowry, friend of the show. He's been on the show, and if he's saying they should take a look at these guys, he's a good spotter of talent.
Okay, if he is, I feel you on that. Like
yes.
when I hear the Fire and I don't know anybody's name and it doesn't sound like they're from exciting places, I'm kind of like, But then, yeah, if you say that, because my big thing was a guy can be at Atalante, a guy can be at Levante or wherever it was,
or Red Star Belgrade.
Yeah, but are they even playing there though? Right, like
right.
That's the huge question. Because if you're playing, okay, cool, take a flyer on a guy. I'll trust that you think he's good at soccer, but it's when they try and sell us like a Michael DeLue as like a star player for the Fire. When I was,
Michael DeLue was a star player for the Fire for a few years, but also
he was not.
But he was a star because of his personality.
Very nice guy. You are correct. Very nice guy.
And a good soccer player, not great, but damn,
exactly, a good soccer player.
Good. I mean, it helped us win games. But certainly, I think MLS passed at a certain point. The MLS passed. We saw the MLS literally pass Fire rosters, like just fly by. While the Fire still has Michael Harrington.
Oh no! I'm not gonna allow Michael Harrington, Shane.
I'm just like, you know what I mean, like that. It's just like the MLS was constantly passing at Fire by. But I have a couple of questions for you.
Well, hold on. It's doing it again. Just look at today. Like, listen, I know there's probably a compilation worth of minutes of me complaining about Aaron Long. That was in a national team setting. The Fire missed out on Aaron motherfucking Long today. You know what I mean? He went to LA. How does LA got money for that cat? You know what I mean? Like, come on. Those are the kind of signings I talk about where, like, sure, I don't want him starting games at the World Cup, but for the Fire, he could be lit. It just, the league is just passing them by again and again.
My questions were, do you want to start? Yeah, I think we should probably. As I'm thinking the way we plot the show, we should probably start with U.S. Soccer men's drama, and then we'll go into MLS Dream signings for every MLS team.
Yay, nonsense, my specialty.
Yeah, so as everyone knows, there was a lot of drama this past few days. A couple of dogs got loose, and now the question was, who let the dogs out? And finally, we found out who. There was a lot of dogs let out for U.S. men's national team over the past few months, and the question was, who let those dogs out as they're running across into the field chasing some neighbor's cat and a couple of squirrels. Then there was another incident where the dogs got out again, and once again, U.S. Twitter was asking, "Hey, who let the dogs out?" As they ran across the beach, ran into the water, grabbed a fish, and pulled it back to shore. We were stunned. We couldn't believe it. Then, once again, dogs out, and we're asking, who let the dogs out? So I ask you now, can you sum up what happened over these past few months in a quick nutshell for the people's FC Tokyo about this incident?
No. No,
it's going to take a Netflix series.
Well, I mean, how much consternation was there about Gio Reyna's playing time, right? And you know what I saw? So there's the real stuff about this that's not fun. There's the conspiracy type stuff that is fun.
Right.
And then I saw the one thing that I would consider Q level conspiracy nonsense, which was somebody was like, Berhalter's son got cut from Austin FC not too long ago or whatever. It was either his son or his brother. I don't know which one, but it was like this person got fired by Austin FC. So Gio Reyna's playing time was a retaliation for that, which I could not believe if that's anywhere near the truth. We're all doomed. But in all seriousness, man, like this, well, I'll just say what happened, and then we'll talk about kind of the very nuanced approach to talking about this.
Yes, because we're all chuckle fuckeries, but at the same time, there's deeper issues as I mentioned earlier. But at the same time, like you said, there's going to take a bit of a delicate hand, but also there's time has also had its effect in this as well. So
yeah, definitely, the circumstance is much different. Right. When we say time, even if we were to talk 5 years, we're talking a whole different story. But again, I'll backtrack. So, unbeknownst to the public or anyone,
so back
or
at the
even
World Cup, Gio Reyna sat at the consternation erupts with U.S. Twitter. U.S. is like, how is Gio Reyna not playing? He's been playing for Borussia. We know he was injured, but Borussia's playing him. Why is he not playing for us when he's one of our best players amongst with Pulisic? And then people start saying, mumbling, grumbling. They're saying, "Oh, Triple G, Gregg Berhalter's got it out for Reyna, but they're best friends. But they're best friends with his dad. Their wives are best friends. But why isn't he playing him? And why? Gio's hurt." So that comes from Gregg Berhalter. Gio's like,
I think he was doing him a solid there. If Gio was just like, yeah, I wasn't feeling 100%, boom. Not a single conversation.
Right. So let's pick that first one out. That's one of the first. Bam. That's one of the first public bam that we're seeing, because we already know that there's an issue. Oh, why? He doesn't seem to be a part of the plan. But when we're asking why, and then we see that. That's our first big red flag.
Yeah, that's a red flag. And then I don't hate the guy, but if Eric Winalda's around, shit's off the rails.
I love Eric. But Eric's in the know. And also
Eric, that's just, I know in this specific instance it's true, but boy, just to think Eric Winalda is in the know as just a standalone statement makes me laugh. I'm sorry.
When it comes to the U.S. men's national team stuff, dude knows.
I guess you're right.
I just know in my interactions with Piotr. I just know through my interactions with Piotr and vicariously some of his interactions with Eric that he spoke with me in private about just to see what Piotr was doing, to know what that Eric was similar and also thought similar in certain ways and all others. It made me. So that's why I'm like. No, dude, these guys all talk so much more than we realize. They all text, they have each other's numbers, they talk to each other every once in a while, and they'll just call each other up to talk or something like that. Like they really do, a lot of these guys.
Yeah, I mean, we're finally seeing a point in the sport where, like, guys we grew up watching and like really got into it with now all either have like serious jobs where they're interviewed or have podcasts. And so we're getting a lot of fun stories and not so fun stories.
Absolutely.
So okay, just to lay it out, everybody's freaking out that Reyna
Everybody's
didn't
freaking
play
out,
great.
and
And
now
then-
Gregg Berhalter comes out and says, "Oh, he's just recovering."
Right,
And Gio says, fuck that. He doesn't see it as covering for him. He sees it as a slight on him.
yeah, which just is the 20-year-old way of looking at it. Like, come on, he's a kid, and then, fast forward to the end of the World Cup, Reyna didn't get a lot of playing time. Then there's all these reports of he sold somebody that he wasn't going to get playing time. Then Berhalter goes to an event and speaks about his leadership without naming names, but very much is talking about Gio Reyna. And of course that shit gets out. He thought it was off the record. And then Gio Reyna replies with a very good statement, I think. He was like, yeah, man, I really did kind of mess up. I thought I'd apologized and gotten enough out of the doghouse to play, but whatever, I'm moving forward, And so we all think it's dead at this point. Now we're all just like rubbing our hands if Berhalter gets extended.
So this is after Berhalter's already kind of outed Gio.
Right. Because remember the next day
at that press conference.
Yep.
So
get
that same day of that off the record press conference that wasn't so off the record turned out to be, apparently within a day or so of that happening, the Reynas came forward to U.S. Soccer, I believe Ernie Stewart, and told them about these allegations about when Gregg Berhalter was 18 years old, that he kicked his wife in the shins outside of a bar.
Girlfriend at the time.
His girlfriend at the time. I apologize. His girlfriend at the time kicked her in the shins, got out of line. Absolutely just admits he got out of line. Kicked her in the shins. They got into a fight. They broke up. For 7 months. He went to counseling. He did various things. He spoke with her family. He spoke with her friends. They spoke with each other's friends. They had the relationship was closed. And then 7 months later, somehow the relationship was reopened again. And now 30 years later, they're husband and wife. And
with 4 children.
Also, to color that, Gregg Berhalter's one of his childhood friends that he grew up with playing soccer with was Reyna. What was Gio Reyna's dad, Claudio Reyna. Ever since they were 13 years old, they grew up in New Jersey together playing soccer all the way up into the U.S. men's national team. In addition to that, their wives were roommates, college roommates.
Division I soccer players, roommates.
So the family is very close, or the families were very close. And it seems that soccer and politics and I don't know, it's gotten in the way of that. And also I saw some tweets saying, this is a perfect illustration of soccer in America because you have the parents trying to coach the team.
Dude, I literally was opening Twitter while you were speaking to find that tweet. I saw that same thing, man. It's just the perfect representation of like youth soccer in America, just soccer in America in general. But dude, what a situation here, because I think I'm just going to say it now. And even with my own reasoning, I'm just going to say it. Gregg Berhalter is getting let off the hook to an extent because of time. And then also because of just the timing, the way that this is coming out. The Reynas did this because they were pissed off. They're trying to quote unquote cancel him, which, I'm just going to lay this out on the line right now, not against quote unquote cancel culture. Like I really hate how people rail against things like political correctness or cancel culture or I can't even think of the wokeism, right? But you know what all those words are? Just replacements for the word respect. That's what it's supposed to be. And so, quote unquote, cancel culture is supposed to be accountability. Now, with that said, if we're talking 5 years ago, yeah, let's investigate and see if this motherfucker is still doing some of this shit. If it's, you know what I mean? But we're talking 30 years ago, they actually broke up. They actually got back together. And unless this investigation / she were ever comfortable enough to come forward, as long as this shit doesn't keep happening, then it was completely out of his character. He has proven that it was out of character. The person who is the only person in this entire situation, despite everybody acting like one, who's a victim. Is Berhalter's current wife and then girlfriend,
who's getting dumped into this by the Reynas, but dragging into
it wasn't really it wasn't their story to share, but you don't always want to say that because there are times you need to save people.
Right. Well, and apparently this is the case, is that Danielle Reyna was talking to Ernie Stewart in confidence. This was not supposed to get out. This what we're talking about right now, and that she was saying it in response to Gregg is saying that, hey, look at what this 19-year-old did, acting out of line, and he's like, well, Gregg did this at 18. He was an idiot, and look where he's now. I think it sounds like she tried to say it, or she tries to claim that she brought it up like that later. There's a whole bunch of backtracking, finger pointing going on right now between the Reynas and the Berhalters in U.S. soccer, and it's kind of sad. I really hope that they can figure this out. It might need a couple days a couple weeks. I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll definitely need more time for this all to come out, but yeah. Let's be honest, dude. No one is talking about the elephant in the room, which is U.S. soccer's handling of abuse in the women's game for God knows how long, and how soon it's been since a lot of things have come to light.
Well, you were talking about canceling right there, and this actually apparently has allegedly affected his job. He was apparently going to be retained. It was rumored that he was going to be retained, and then this came out, and U.S. Soccer broke off all conversations about going forward. And after this came out, December 11th or December 13th, somewhere in that time frame, is when apparently the Reynas brought this to the attention of U.S. Soccer.
Well, and that's where I feel comfortable enough saying two things. You know what? Have a little not a little investigation, and I'm not trying to downplay any of this. I'll say this: have an investigation and make sure that that's not a pattern of behavior, that this woman has been in terror for 30 years. Okay, let's just make sure. Doesn't seem that way, but you know what? We don't know a lot of shit about these people. So
meanwhile, Jay Berhalter, is one of the guys that hired this guy. You'd think Jay would see some things or hear some things or know some things. Unless we got like a Breaking Bad situation going on.
Right.
Super secret lives.
But what I'm saying, exactly. So what I'm saying is investigate and make sure that it's not a situation where a woman has been in terror or terrorized and, Stockholm syndromed in a relationship. Okay. And if that's the case, then it's very easy to say, you know what, that was a mistake an 18-year-old made, and not within their character, and something that they use to grow and get better. Like, let's be honest, dude. I've cheated on plenty of girlfriends. I've been a dickhead. I've gotten into car accidents. I've done a lot of things that get you in trouble, but as long as, there are some lessons that you learn by ruining your entire life. There's other lessons you learn and you get better. Or
potentially ruining your entire life.
Yeah, exactly. So there are things you can do that are bad enough to not come back from, even if it's been 30 years. But again, if it's been proven and the person that he's with and that the person that this happened to says, well, I now know this person for 30 years. We've been together dating and married, and I love them. And this was completely out of character, and it was a singular incident that did not repeat. Then you know what? That's just what it was. Then we just leave it in the past. There's no need for him to lose his job now in life. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. It's not like, and again, I'm saying it differently if it's just was 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Then you're looking at somebody like, you're this old kind of doing that. Like, you know, there's probably a pattern, you know, so then you do make more rash decisions. But
Also,
based
apparently, it did come up in the small amount of investigating that they did do since then, that he did supposedly abuse other members of staff. In what ways we do not know, but that was
shit, I did not hear that.
That was said by
Or-
U.S. Soccer. I'll go to. We shall go to the U.S. Soccer.
They said that? I did
Yep.
not hear that.
Yes, we shall. We shall go to U.S.
Oh my
Soccer.
God.
And it wasn't like abuse. I don't know. Maybe I used the wrong term, and maybe I should use the right term. So let's give me a second here to find this U.S.
Well, also,
Soccer.
let's not, you know, he can be an asshole too. Like, let's not confuse the two things between being a very bad person and just an asshole.
Upon learning
You know
of the
what I mean?
allegations against U.S. men's national team head coach Gregg Berhalter on December 11th, U.S. Soccer immediately hired Alston and Bird to conduct the independent investigation. So, by the way, chat was saying, you know, we don't need to put the wife through the ringer again, which I agree with. So, like, you know, they don't have to go super. You don't have to. What's the word? Break out the FBI for this, but they did conduct an independent investigation apparently over the past few weeks. Blah 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 blah. Throughout this process, U.S. Soccer has learned about potential inappropriate behavior towards multiple members of our staff by individuals outside of our organization. What? Let's read this again. Through this process, U.S. Soccer has learned about potential inappropriate behavior towards multiple members of our staff by individuals outside of our organization. Are they not talking about Greg there?
No, they're either talking about
They're
the
talking-
Reyna's harassing people with the information, like trying to
Yeah.
like get him canceled, or what they're saying is
Right?
Don Garber's over there flirting.
Yeah, they're talking about some of the people here. We take such behavior seriously and have expanded our investigation to include those allegations. We appreciate Greg and Rosalind coming forward to speak openly about the incident. He put out a tweet. She's put out a statement consistent with our commitment of transparency. We will share the results with the investigation publicly when it is complete. U.S. Soccer condemns violence of any kind and takes such allegations very seriously. Last month, U.S. Soccer launched a full technical review of our men's national team program. With the review and investigation ongoing, U.S. Soccer will announce who will lead the January men's national team camp in the coming days. It's already been announced. It's Coach Hudson. We look forward to the building of performance of Qatar and preparing for the journey towards 2026. And it doesn't seem like that's going to be with Gregg Berhalter.
You know, it probably won't, man. Like this, I think this does. You know what? Between his performance and just the whole kerfuffle of the thing, it's not worth re-signing him. And like that's the other thing too is I don't know if you can jettison Gio Reyna, but I also don't think, you know, I don't know. Gio seems to have been the most adult about everything in this situation.
Right, rather than the adults. That's what's also, yeah, I've read that in tweets. I was like, yeah, I kind of agree with that sentiment.
But I mean, like I said, I am not a person who rails against cancel culture. Like, no, like we very much people need visibility of things. Like there are people who are a piece of shit, and it's not necessarily about getting them fired. In my mind, it's like, oh, well, if I find out this person's a piece of shit, I'm not going to give them money. You know, I'm not going to support their businesses just because, but then it becomes impossible because you use Amazon and that guy's a piece of shit.
Yep.
You know, we're on YouTube right now. That guy, you know,
Hey, we like Dr. Seuss stories and Bill
Yeah, I
Cosby
mean,
had a great comedy series and
we wear Adidas, like,
and-
you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's tough.
And
You
we
can't
still
do
go
it for
to
everything.
De Beers to get the wife the diamonds, all right? And or something. I guess not everybody does, but
Nah, but nah.
Chat saying I'm not against getting rid of Berhalter, but maybe investigate him in secret without going public. And I kind of feel like they did that for the most part. Like they investigated him for the past few weeks and they found enough information that they were like, all right, we're not gonna hire him. At
It's
least we know
crazy,
that
man.
much.
This has been wild.
It has been wild. Another thing that's been a little wild, and to me a little like, I don't know if I kind of thought it was a little gross, was like this weird journalist gatekeeping where they had this like they all knew. It was like they all knew and they're all tweeting out to like stoke up some weird fire and flames. It was weird. And they're
Yeah,
like, wait
well,
till you
that's what
hear it's
journalism
gonna
has
hit the
become,
fan.
man.
And it just felt a little, I don't know, it just felt a little dirty when I was reading some of those tweets. I was like, this is like journalism. It's not, I'm not saying urine, I'm saying yearn as in yearning. This is like journalism. They're like yearning to make this more. And that's yellow journalism is exaggerated news telling. And this isn't exaggerated. Domestic violence happened here, but it happened 30 years ago with a man and a woman who are now husband and wife. Not that does add a little credibility to it, and people might want to say, they can't factor it. Guys, that does factor a little bit in this situation. Obviously, Gregg Berhalter did enough growth for this woman and her family to grow and accept and love him. So
That's what it seems. We don't know that for a fact, but that's what it does.
We don't know that for a four kids fact, but let's say we know for four. But we could say 4 kids. We know.
It appears.
It
appears. Again, like I said,
but also, like you said, and also, there could be issues. Maybe subterranean issues that every once in a while, then he drinks a little too much. That we better make sure that get Gregg away from everybody. I heard he had a bit of a violent history as a player, putting his head through walls.
That's a little different. But
I think there's a lot of players who've done heads through walls.
It is what it is. And like, this is a whole nother situation too, because it's not even like this woman, like it's not, I shouldn't say this woman. It's not like there was a woman that he did this to, they broke up, and then he was finally a better person to other people. It's very much like kind of like that's why we're slightly giving him the benefit of the doubt, is that she did come back to him.
She thought it was worse, and we got to trust her opinion. Or
well,
we got to give her some
like said,
to some extent, right?
Just double check,
right?
Just
right,
double check.
Right. And it seems like they did, and they found enough that they're like, we don't need. It was good having you as coach, but good luck.
Wow. So, like I said, it's not fun to talk about, but like I gotta say, man, does this affect Gio Reyna's? Does this affect Gio Reyna's career at all? Because his parents they kind of suck.
The next coach that comes in, everybody's gonna get a fresh start with the next coach. The next coach will make sure of that. If it's Jesse Marsch, especially
not with the national team, I'm saying, like, does Dortmund try and shop him, and people are like, no, we're good.
No,
I think
they still want him,
because he won't develop at Dortmund. Like there is a ceiling to your development at Dortmund.
He's already scored. He's already back in form.
No, I know, but I'm saying there's a ceiling to your development. Right, so if they can't sell you, you're eventually going to sit the bench unless you're Royce. Because then they're going to try the next kid who's 19.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, you have to be able to get sold.
I don't think he's going to have a problem getting sold.
I hope not. Like, boy,
this will blow over. Something will happen. Reyna, Berhalter come out with maybe some sort of statement. I do expect this to blow. It's for the good of U.S. soccer. It needs to, because this truly has the ability to develop into something deep-seated and bad and schism-inducing for the U.S. soccer program as a whole. And right before the 2026 program, right before the 2026 World Cup, we do not need that. We need a United States team, not a Civil War divided we fall team. So so they got to figure that out.
Claudio Reyna is one of the closest things we do have to royalty for U.S. soccer players.
The original Captain America.
And I wonder if this is the first time I fell in love with soccer, I played it when I was a little bit 94, right? The World Cup, but I was still too little to know anybody except for Redhead, Kobe Jones, So I wonder if this is how somebody older felt when they found out about Ian Harkes or not Ian. Oh my God, my bad. John Harkes and Eric Winalda. You know what I mean? Kind of a guy I really like sucks.
Yeah, the guy I really like is capable of shitty, horrible decisions. So and horrible in different context. I mean,
Most certainly.
right? Like there's those contexts that like where he's like, he's willing to go cheat, and then there's other people like OJ. So it's like it's a weird and wild world. But then there's other athletes out there.
Why use that as the example, man? He
But there's also
all the other
athletes
people
out
on
there that
planet
do
Earth who
great
have
things with their platform.
all the other people on this planet who have cheated the system, and he's the one you pick to complain about.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying he's.
Anyway, dude, I God, it's so nuts, man. That like, because Gio Reyna was like it's so incestuous. Like U.S. soccer, it's at this weird point where we wanted more ex-players involved before because all the decision makers were bean counters.
And now we're seeing on Twitter, it's like, oh, there's too much incestuousness relationships between these U.S. players and coaches. I'm like, what are you fucking talking about, guys?
Well, that's the problem. We only have one generation of people who have ever played and then thought they could do this.
Exactly.
So
yeah,
now
we
it's
have
just
one
that whole generation. It doesn't matter who's good at it or not. It's
England's
not
got like so many freaking people, Garrett. They got so many other different variations of the same Gareth Southgate. Wow, we have like one or two.
Exactly.
Coaches.
So then they're all exactly, dude. That's just where we are in our development. It's just crazy. Oh my God.
I'm reading this. Not that this really affects this actually doesn't affect how I feel about Greg. This actually more affects how I feel about Ricardo Pepi, but maybe or both, maybe both. Ricardo Pepi, this is coming out now. Ricardo Pepi hung up on Gregg Berhalter when Greg phoned him to tell him he was left out of the U.S. World Cup squad. With the under fire coach now being investigated by U.S. Soccer for kicking his wife in a drunken 1991 row. Thank you, Mail Online.
I mean, I feel you, but I'll say this. How many times after the end of an illustrious, amazing career are we watching something like The Last Dance? Is like, oh, Rodman was out partying and did this, or Jordan showed up and they said, hey, we gonna do this in practice. He said, fuck you, and didn't. You know what I mean? We're like, wow, what a badass.
And then so like if Ricardo win the championship.
Yeah, so like if Ricardo Pepi has a great career, it'll be like, yeah, he was awesome. He even just hung up on Berhalter when he didn't take him. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, come on.
Yeah, I agree. It is more like a come on. Like I don't think they're trying to this is more trying to bury Berhalter, where this to me actually doesn't really reflect as horribly on Berhalter as it does on Ricardo Pepi.
I don't think it reflects poorly on either. Well, he's a kid who just hung up on the coach who told him his dream wasn't coming true. It happens.
Yeah, right. You can see it happen. You can understand it happen, and you can understand the growth that could potentially happen afterwards too.
And it's like sports is like the same thing is like you know who you're the worst person to? Mrs. Spitting Fire. You know why? Because she's around you the most, because she's the closest person to you. So not only does she see all the good that you put out towards everybody, she'll see the bullshit too.
She deals with the bad. She's there for the good days. She's there for the bad days.
Exactly. So that's how every single person is. So like in a sports situation, it's like being in a relationship with 24 other guys. You know what I mean? So like even with the coach, it's like, why'd you hang up on me last night? You know, you just get over it eventually. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not a big deal.
I mean, coach could have called him again another time too.
Oh yeah,
of course. But
I mean, why would he do that? Like, why poke the bear? Let the kid be mad.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Let time heal. Let time do its thing.
I mean, think of it like a Stevie Nickel telling this story. Like, oh man, so he hung up on me, and so he showed up to training and started whooping ass. So I thought, you know what, he's got the fire. You know, like.
Do you agree with chat's take here? Angus saying that this is not even a real sports story.
It's not. It's so little of a story. Guess where it came from?
It's barely a news story.
Said it. Yeah, Pepi just told the story on a podcast. That's it. You know, he told the story. Like, that's how little of a story it is. That's how much he didn't give a shit that it was going to be a thing.
All this. Yeah, it is. Yeah, definitely. All right, so we'll put a pin in that. And now let's get into some MLS teams here. I got a couple big names that I want to bring to MLS and dream names. It's realistic names and dream names are all on the table, Toke. for this. All right, we're starting off in the Eastern Conference. Atlanta United with their newest GM, Garth Lagerwey.
No,
hurts
boo.
to
They don't
say.
get anybody. They get Miles Robinson back. They just signed somebody today. No, boo. They don't get anyone else.
They don't get anyone else. They got Joseph Martinez leading the way. They got Dom Dwyer behind him. ATN, they just signed him, brought him over on that left wing. I think he was a decent sub for LAFC, I believe. Araujo over on that right side. Rosetto, Thiago Almada in cam roll. And is that Xabi Alonso? No, Xabi Alonso retired years ago. Who is that? Who is Alonso?
No, that might be Ozzy.
Ozzy Alonso. Is that what that is?
I think it is. Hold on, man. I gotta turn myself.
So that is Atlanta United. Meanwhile, you got ex-Chicago Fire Gutman over on that left back role. Robinson, Miles Robinson at center back. Purata at center back, and Lennon over at right back. Meanwhile, Illinois native Brad Guzan in goal.
Is that Miguel Ibarra?
Yes. Where's Miguel Ibarra?
God,
Where's Ibarra? Where do you see Ibarra?
Under Alonso, two.
Oh yeah, dude, he's like third listed.
Dude, I love some of these old MLS names, man. To get a Teal Bunbury on the Fire.
They also have Emerson Hindman backing up Rosetto.
Oh my God, you're right. They do.
They have Alejandro Moreno.
Oh my God, they got Derek Etienne.
Yes, they have. Yes, and Mascara.
God, they're gonna be. If they don't get injuries, because they're a little thin, if they don't get a bunch of injuries, they're going to be good.
Dude, Joseph doesn't. They got Dom Dwyer, but Dom's been not well. Dom has not been good for a few years now.
Nah, Dom.
I'd rather have CJ Sapong than Dom Dwyer.
Oh, totally agree on that, actually.
Mm-hmm. So if you could make one dream signing for Atlanta United, where are you going with it?
I would go center back to pair with Robinson.
You're taking Purata out, and you're going to put in somebody special.
Oh my God, I'm trying to think here.
You don't have to think too hard, but
oh, you know what? I take that back. Alonso's old. You know what I would do, and you're gonna laugh, but I think he needs a change of scenery. Dele Ali.
I love it. Dele Ali to Atlanta United. And he would love it. He loves his freaking A's and whatnot. He's always doing his work well with his Instagram. It's Dele Ali at Atlanta United. The A's, the alliteration works.
God, some MLS team needs to pay me. I got this.
All right, so chat, let us know if you have a dream signing for the teams that we're covering at any time. Just shout it out there. Feel free. I like that signing. I like the center mid signing too, because I'm kind of liking their forwards. Araujo, Etienne, Joseph.
Well, do you think Joseph will leave?
Joseph is here to stay. Unless he doesn't get along with the coach still, unless that's still a problem.
Do we still have Shabilko? Can we trade?
Yeah, I'll take Joseph here as a sub for John Jader Duran, but think about that. He won't really likely accept that role either.
He could play the wing.
Oh, he could. But are you playing him over Torres? Are you playing him over Mueller?
Or not Mullins, Mueller.
I'd rather play Mueller than Mueller in position than Joseph out of position on that wing.
I don't know, man. That's a good question. That's a good question. Maybe go three in the back and play two up front.
Dude, Joseph's got those tight hamstrings, man. His hamstrings are too tight.
Shut up about it.
Nah. No, but I love your shout for Dele Ali. Amazing shout for Atlanta United. And also to me, that fits that's not just a dream signing. That's a realistic signing.
That's a very realistic signing because he's not playing well in Turkey, which I mean, I know you don't want to totally sign a guy not playing well, but that's kind of what you get.
You can bring in he's for the cost that they would pay for that team. Everything to me about that signing screams perfect.
Sometimes all it takes is a change of scenery, man.
I love it. Let's see. I'm trying to identify a position of matter to me. All right, I center back, and I'm going to go to one of these World Cup teams. I'm gonna go to one of these World Cup teams. You know, I'm gonna head over to Iran. Nope. I'm gonna, you know,
Go to Croatia. They're all old.
no, I know exactly where I'm going. I am going to, I am going to Morocco. And I'm going to Morocco and I'm getting their freaking captain. Seiss. Romain Seiss. Romain Seiss. 32 years old. Captain. Plays for Besiktas. And was a absolute stud at the World Cup and was one of the primary reasons I thought that Morocco went as far as they did. I would bring him in for Peralta. And let him sit next to Miles Robinson. So there's my signing.
That was the first thing I thought of. Then I looked at how old that midfield was.
Oh, is it really old?
I feel like it is.
Well, I mean, you got Emerson Hindman, who's still young. And Thiago Almada is really good. He's 21 years old. He's 21. Thiago Almada.
Oh, yeah. That's he's gone though. They're going to sell him in the winter.
In the next transfer window. All right. I think
we'll trade him Shaqiri for peanuts.
Unless Chad has trading, I like Shaqiri, dude.
I like Shaqiri, but it just seems like a Chicago thing to do, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely. With this GM, you never know. Unless Chad has anything to weigh in on Atlanta with a player signing or dream signing for them, I'm going to move on to Charlotte FC. Charlotte's got a lot of work to do, in my opinion, but you know what? They came out and they did pretty decent in MLS last year in their very first season. Kopetti leading the line, Jozwiak over the right wing, Vargas at the left wing, Swiderski, Brant Bronico earmarked as a starter in the midfield, and Jones. Meanwhile, left back Mora, Walks, Malanda, and Byrne rounding out the back line, and Kalina in goal.
Is it rude of me to say that this team looks terrible?
It looks terrible because it's borderline unrecognizable. I mean, you got Jozwiak, you got Bronico. I see Diop as a backup. Bender, I think, was a draft pick that's turning out decent for them. Unless they got one of the Bender brothers. I don't think they got one of the Bender brothers.
No, didn't they retire? No, they didn't retire. But
it's time to bring in the Bender brothers, MLS. And bring them to Charlotte. That'll be a show. It looks like Fuchs is gone.
What player would make a change here.
No, like Christian Fuchs. He's gone. I really liked him.
What can you do with this? Wow, we found it. We already found the team with less hope than us.
I mean, Bronico is the name I know I could replace with a better player. But is he better than all these other names if he's climbed to the top like this? And maybe somebody else should be replaced. Well, we got to show Brant that love, so he's irreplaceable.
He is irreplaceable. He is the meme player here. He's got to be on the field. Him and Vargas are the only two that have to be on the field.
Also, Swiderski and Jozwiak, because they speak Polish.
Okay, that works. Yeah.
And then they have these question marks around Kopetti.
Oh, we got it. The Polish keeper at Juventus. That's it. That's their dream signing.
Szczesny.
Yup. That's
the play. Oh, yeah. Szczesny is the play to Charlotte FC. I love that play. Szczesny. How do you even spell his name?
Give them something to stare at while they're losing.
Szczesny. Wojciech Szczesny. You just pull him up. All right, cool. Boom. There's Wojciech. Yeah, that'd be a great signing. Coming in 32 years old. He could still win Champions Leagues, but
yeah, I was about to say I didn't realize he was so young. My bad.
He could still win Champions Leagues, 32, but they'd have to pay a lot of money to get Wojciech.
Yeah, actually they would. Yo, who's that cat who plays? He's not playing now, but he's like 43 years old and he plays for Shakhtar. Get that cat, Poyet or whatever.
Don't ask fully. I got Trubin, Pyatov, Shevchenko.
Yatov.
Andrei Pyatov. 38 years old. Go get him. 38 years old. He's got a couple years left on the tire. He's from Ukraine. You got the boom. And you got your marketing. You got your marketing covered. Because they'll no doubt wrap that into it.
That's it. That's my call. I did not realize Szczesny was quite so young.
Valeryovich Pyatov from Kropyvnytsky, Ukraine. 38 years old, currently plays for Shakhtar. I like that. 6'3".
I think he's only ever played for Shakhtar.
Angus saying he does not. He also does not recognize anybody on Charlotte. I've heard of Vargas though. He says Vargas. I feel like he's been around.
He was a Timber, right?
That sounds perfect. Correct. That sounds correct.
Man, I'm so disappointed in my absolute in-depth knowledge of MLS and my lack of knowledge of anything else, or even being able to remember where I set something down.
I don't think that you could get Luka Modric to Charlotte, but that's the dream signing. That's the dream signing right there.
Oh, I'm waiting to pull that one out, but I feel you. Okay.
Right. For this team, they need a miracle.
They do. Yes, they do.
So I pulled out a miracle for them. That's how I felt. Good luck to you, Charlotte. Unless Chad has any suggestions for dream players. Do you have a dream player or a suggestion before we move on?
God, who's next? Are we next?
Or you want to move on to the next team?
Oh yeah.
Well, guess what?
Keep it moving, baby.
Well, guess what? The next team is Chicago Fire.
Ooh.
Chicago Fire. Sporting director Georg Leitz and technical director Sebastian Peltzer were given one more year to make things work despite another 12th place finish and another year at home at Soldier Field watching the Audi MLS Cup playoffs. And thus far, their approach seems to be oriented toward a betting upon continuity, improvement from within, and maybe upgrading at right back. Which is to say, it's been a quiet winter in the second city. Swiss attacker Marin Haile Selassie, on loan from sister club FC Lugano, is the only addition at this point, while all the departures, other than Gago Slonina, which we knew about in the summer, have been option declined or mutually parted ways. Defenders, the most significant of whom was starting right back Boris Sekulic. Would it be crazy to bring back 9 starters from a non-playoff 12th place team, 26th place, 24th place team in MLS 1 year after and expect them to make the playoffs the next?
It would be insane.
A little bit.
I agree.
Yeah. But I don't think it's that insane to expect massive improvement from Jairo Torres at right wing and John Jada Durant at striker, as well as a more locked-in performance from Xherdan Shaqiri. Well, what's next? Reports have the Fire are on the verge of signing 30-year-old right back Arnaud Souquet. That has been confirmed. The Frenchman is a veteran of League One and the Belgian top flight, and has obviously seems to be a pivot toward the we've got to win and win big this year in order to keep our. That doesn't seem to me. I totally disagree. Arnaud Souquet does not scream to me we've got to win and win big this year in order to keep our jobs type of signing. That's
Most
Crescito.
certainly, totally agree.
Crescito last year is that type of signing. Like, we've got to win and win big. Crescito is that type. Arnaud Souquet, the bouquet of flowers from Joliet, France, is not. This isn't about development or polishing diamonds in the rough anymore. If that's the case, then the next place to look is in goal. Slonina's departure is in theory opening up playing time for another highly rated homegrown U.S. Youth International in Chris Brady. But this team doesn't seem to set up to live this is the key part, I thought. But this team doesn't seem to set up to live with the mistakes of a teenage goalkeeper in his first year as a starter. So the move there would not shock me. He is young, and we did see that with Gago Slonina, that they stuck with the growing pains despite it.
I say do it. You're not going to be any good this year. Do it. Stay with Brady.
If Shaqiri's here, the pressure will be to get a better goalkeeper. But if Shaqiri's not here, then the youth project's going to start taking a lot more foot. I mean, a lot of this youth will be taking more foot. When we're looking at this lineup, John Jader Duran at striker, Tyro Torres, another year to get their feet in here in Chicago. Chris Mueller already off on a good foot. Going to hopefully get better. Like, to settle in with this coach, it's very possible that these puzzle pieces start to fit together. But does a mega offer come in for Duran, who was just simply astounding down the stretch last year? But the hunch is that won't come until summer. It's worth noting, by the way, that the Fire have a DP slot open, and since Torres is a young DP, they can go big as hell with it and not lose any U22 slots. So while it's been a quiet window so far, it's not necessarily destined to stay that way. To that end, head coach Ezra Hendrickson has said they're looking for a DP number 9. That's really hard to reconcile with how excellent Duran was down the stretch. So I've got to imagine they fill the DP slot with a center forward. It'll come during the summer window after they get blown away by somebody's offer for Duran. That makes sense. Holding on to that DP slot until summer. And
sell Duran right now. Sell him right now for whatever you can get.
Sell him right now and bring in Giroud.
No. Ugh. I mean, he is handsome, but
run the show for a minute. I gotta grab a drink.
Dude, I can't believe you're going to put me on the spot on the Fire Talk and go grab a drink. Listen, Giroud, not a terrible shout, but I want a lot of dumb. I say bring Matthew Hoppe in. Matthew Hoppe, bring him in. You know, he doesn't necessarily have to be a DP, or if he is, he's low dollars. Bring in Andrew Reynolds. We got to sign this kid back.
I'm back.
We need him back. He's the one. Who do you want it right back? I kind of feel like you're not going to get Reggie Cannon back, but it'd be perfect to bring him back to MLS.
For the U.S. men's national team, or you want to get him here over Suket, who's already signed at $600K? We got the Boris Sekulic problem all over again.
Oh, I didn't even, whatever. I don't know if you heard. I said Matthew Hoppe. Bring that kid over. Bring over Matthew Hoppe.
What does he play?
Well, when Duran's going to be gone, he's going to play striker.
So Matthew Hoppe's a striker. I'm just not familiar with it. Matthew Hoppe. Let me look. American soccer player. Yorba Linda.
He's in Middlesbrough.
It says he's a defender.
What?
It says he's a defender, and okay, this is nuts. It says positions forward, but current team's defender. This doesn't make sense.
Wait, is he playing in defense? What the hell has happened to Matthew Hoppe?
This is absolutely. I'm baffled right now. No, it says center forward on Transfer Market. Okay.
Okay.
But on Twitter or on Wikipedia, it was saying That was weird. Yeah, it was saying defense. I mean, it showed right there. Matthew Hoppe worth $1.5 million, and he's out at the Middlesbrough right now. He arrived there August of 2022 for $3 million. Bring him.
Oh wait, did they buy him? I thought he was on loan from Malaga.
He is at Middlesbrough. He is on Middlesbrough. He is purchased by Middlesbrough for $3 million. By the way, drinking a red stripe.
Just traveling around the world. Why don't you?
I told you I was drinking. I don't know if you were here for that, but yeah, the wife, Miss Spitfire, got me like some 12 beers of Christmas or something. Where it's like 12 different beers, 12 good beers. So I like variety. Cool. I like sampling. So I was having fun.
I like Matthew Hoppe, but that's like the minor signing. We need to replace Gaston with a hardcore defensive center midfielder.
That's exactly what. Yes, that's exactly what I'm looking at. Now, Gelson Fernandez was an interesting name that I thought was a little bit realistic, a little too realistic. 32 years old, Swiss, 32 years old, Swiss international, 6'3" or 6'2", dominant center defensive mid, goes back there and is buzzed with Shaqiri.
Do you think this is realistic, Rabiot?
Oh my God, I love it. Oh my God, I love it. Oh,
is he too young or?
I love it.
I mean, him and Shaqiri together.
I don't think he's going to come. I think he's too good. He's way too good.
I mean, back up the truck, bro.
There's no truck you could drag back up when he's trying to go win Champions Leagues. Hold on, I got to close this door for 1 second here.
I don't know. I would love to see it. I know he's probably too good. You're probably right.
I think he's way too good. But hey, that's a dream signing. I like it. I think we highlighted a realistic signing in Gelson and a super dream signing.
Well, like that's the other thing. Who's playing at a club that has like 4 defensive midfielders and he's too good to come to MLS, but he's too far down the pecking order.
Tony Cruz, come to MLS.
Yeah.
It's time.
It is time.
It's time.
Well, you know
he's
what?
33.
Modric.
He's 37.
You wanted Giroud. Let's get Modric, Giroud, and let's be the slowest team in the league.
Bring them all in. I don't care. And you know what? We would dominate. We would. You could build tactics around that work.
So who's going to play left back? There's no possible way Bornstein is going to be able to play and not break
Bornstein's
down.
Bornstein's gone. He's gone. Navarro
no
is
way.
here. And Charlie Ostrom, it looks like, is this backup left back for the Chicago Fire. All right, so we got John Jader Duran at striker, Mueller at left wing. I like it. Torres, I need to see something out of Torres this year. And behind him, you got Haile Selassie, who's coming over from Lugano, who got pushed out by Ignacio. What's his face? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Lucio Acosta? No. Ignacio
Piatti or whatever?
No, former Chicago Fire winger. Nacho Ice Cream.
Aliseda.
Nacho Aliseda.
Is he still at Lugano?
So we get the guy who gets pushed out by him, and it's Haile Selassie.
I don't like it, man. This team looks worse than last year. I feel like we're thin at center back. We're definitely thin on the back, like outside back.
Well, we got Shaqiri at Cam. I like our strikers. Prishabilko's as a backup striker. That's better. Would you say that's better than CJ Sapong as a backup striker?
Hell no. Shabilko needs to go. I feel like he's like a broken action figure. He doesn't bend from the waist. Like he just looks like he stands straight up at perfect posture at all times.
So you find him as really dead wood.
I do. I'm not a fan of Shabilko.
And we also have Guti, who's not even starting. Brian Guti, who will get spot starts. He can actually take over for Torres.
Why wouldn't you play Navarro in the center and play Shaqiri and Guti higher up? Why would you hamstring yourself? Because I'm going to tell you this. I know we all like Mueller. I know Torres has some spark. And Duran could be something, but he's going to be gone anyway.
Okay, you just said
this attack is not exciting.
No.
If you look at it, we're attacking with 4. Neither outside back can really get forward. And Shaqiri's slow at that. And then Jimenez and Navarro aren't going to give you anything going forward.
Maybe the Fire's front office needs to change. Maybe, is that an option?
Who?
Maybe the Fire's front office needs to change. Is that an option?
Yeah, that's the dream signing.
That is the dream
signing.
Chat.
Went to Atlanta.
But I agree with what you're actually saying here because, hey, you drop Jimenez to the bench. You don't even replace that position. You let Navarro fill in as the pivot, and then bring Gutierrez out to help with Shaqiri in a more central position. Shaqiri being allowed to get more forward and be more free. Boom.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like the men's national team setup, doesn't it?
You really give up the midfield with that. You give up so much of the midfield by going Shaqiri Guti, because Guti is going to have to do some amount of work, or you win MLS in the midfield. And last year we were seeing MLS, the games that the Fire won. Remember, weren't they really the good ones? Were like when Navarro and Pineda kind of locked down that midfield and Shaqiri was allowed to shine, or Guti was allowed to shine. It seemed like there was that was the recipe for success.
I feel like you need that when your outside backs go bomb forward, right?
Mhm.
Like a Serginho Dest.
Or
But you
Boris
don't need that.
Sekulic, which we're not going to get so much with Arnaud Souquet, supposedly.
But you don't need that if these guys are going to stay at home the way they stay at home.
Mhm.
Like, is Navarro really is Miguel Navarro really going to go bomb forward?
He
Is
has.
this?
He does.
I mean, I guess not well. I guess that's the problem.
But he's going to be on this team. He is going to be one of the main churners because Souquet. This is how so tilt this field. I don't know if you're seeing this lineup I'm looking at, but right now I got
I'm looking at it.
Chicos and Turan and Souquet are basically when this team moves into offense, Chicos, Turan, Souquet are gonna become a 3-man back. Navarro's going up. Turan or Chicos might even go up. Didn't we see that happen on occasion?
Yeah, but it was terrible.
And
So that's where I'm saying that's why you got to get Jimenez off the field.
That's
And
the
you gotta
plan.
get
That's his plan.
but you got to get Jimenez off the field. You got to have, because just like you said, the unbalanced side, you're never going to take the ball up the right. Torres is going to look terrible even if he's not, because you got to get Guti and Shaq in there because you got to get some width, and you're not going to get it with Souquet. And I really don't want to get it with Navarro. Like that's what I would I would totally stick Navarro on an island. Give Shaq and Guti room to just go crazy in that midfield. That midfield would hold the ball so much better, right? So you say you win the ball, you win in the midfield, but
and then hold possession.
Yeah, but like mostly
you don't need
MLS
to play defense
doesn't.
if you have possession.
Exactly. Play defense like old school Barcelona. But yeah, no, God, this team sucks.
Miguel Navarro at left back, backed up by Ostrom. Chicos, I like at center back. I think he's one of the best center backs in MLS. Turan, I think he was starting to figure things out.
I mean, Osberg, Turan, Chihos, they're all good. I just feel like
good enough.
I would rather add another starter.
They don't feel like here's the thing. They don't feel like 12th place defenders. Like in years past, so much of the team has felt like 12th place. It's felt like a last place player. And it reflects it year after year. And last year, it didn't feel like it. Last year, we kept saying like, "Oh, this doesn't feel like a bad team. This
right."
Feel
but that's
like
how we got fooled last year, dude. This is what we were saying.
This is the same thing, but it's year 2 of the program of Ezra Hendrickson. Also, it's year 2 of where we had last year. We had the specialness of Gaga Sonina to truly help save the season for the Fire. Even though they ended in 12th, it could have been a lot worse. They started well because of Gaga Sonina. The same thing's going to happen this year because of John Jader Duran. However, the same thing's going to happen this year because at a certain point, the struggles of youth will kick in.
Well, it wasn't just youth. It was injuries last year too. You know what I mean? Like that, it was rough last year on the injuries. So does this not feel like a thin team? How many guys is
No,
there?
it doesn't, because it actually doesn't feel, it feels thicker than last year's team. And here's why. I know I can get MLS level minutes out of Duran and Prishabilko at striker. And I know I can get a spot something out of Misael Rodriguez. A spot something. I know that because of the last 2 seasons. We didn't know that last season about Duran and Rodriguez. We thought that about Prishabilko. We know more about them now. We know that they are MLS capable. There is some debate about Prishabilko being an MLS starter, and he's definitely MLS bench. But is he even MLS bench worthy? That's a discussion that's also can be had. But he scores goals in MLS. We've seen it. Mueller,
all right,
and Mueller and Brian Gutierrez as front left wings, back strider backup. You could depend on both of those guys. Jairo for MLS minutes. Jairo Torres, you're going to be able to depend on some MLS minutes. Not great MLS minutes, but some, and you're hoping for better. The same thing with the Prishabilko situation. Herbers, we know you could depend on for some MLS minutes.
If you're depending on Herbers, you didn't get anywhere.
Right, but you're okay. Great point. You shouldn't be how much of the percentage of minutes are dependent on Herbers last year, the year before, and this year? That's got to be a steady decrease because if this team wants to get better.
He works his ass off, but like his talent level is, you know what?
I think it's a good measurement stick. His talent is the good measurement stick for us.
He's the Mendoza line.
He's the Mendoza line. Absolutely. Ivanov behind him. I don't expect anything from Ivanov.
Averages. We don't need the Mendoza line.
But so you got Ivanov behind Herbers and Moni, and you feel like you might see a flash out of Moni, and we've seen Ivanov get a lot of time, and like maybe he gets one more chance to get a flash out there, but it seems like it should be time for there. So it's like compared to last year, when I'm looking at this, Mueller wasn't here at the beginning of last year, by the way. It's just like there's more here that you can rely on for the season compared to what you knew last year. Meanwhile, Shaqiri backed up by Brian Gutierrez. It's like they're one injury away from Brian Gutierrez being a starter on the front line. But get this, they're one injury away after that from being like, what the fuck?
Exactly. Dream signing Zaha. Realistic signing Christian Ramirez.
Granit Xhaka. Just floating it out there, see if it's stuck.
Maybe. I like I said, dream signing Zaha. The realistic one is we're getting Christian Ramirez
on that left wing. He would go up MLS. Ooh,
right?
Ooh, yeah. That's like I feel like that would be King David Akam on fucking steroids, like on Barry Bonds steroids.
Oh, for real. Oh my God. You know what? You know who's kind of out to the wilderness? Lukaku.
Bring him in. Let's sell Duran and bring in Lukaku with that sweet Duran money.
Right? That sweet Duran money. Oh, God.
But we're in agreement. You got to get Jimenez out of this.
Yes. Can we please sell him somewhere?
Just pin him away for peanuts. He's not a DP anymore. So just if somebody's offering you a bag of balls,
if he's not a DP, you know what? Keep him on the bench. Screw it. Who cares?
Not a DP. Oh yeah, then keep him on the bench. He's great. He's an okay bench player.
He would be a great spot starter and
if he
off
cares.
The bench.
If he cares, maybe. But also, once again, a lot of these players were starters on a bad team last year. So hopefully these players, we're hoping to get better. We saw flashes out of Turan, flashes out of Duran that were a lot more. And we know Chicos is capable.
Also, I don't know if you were on here to hear this, but re-sign Andrew Reynolds. Bring the kid back.
Andrew Reynolds?
The third.
I thought that in his like 1 or 2 games that I saw him get a decent amount of minutes, I was kind of like, whoa, how come this guy is not getting more minutes?
I don't know, man. He's a hometown kid too, man. His mom's like a principal at a school around here.
He had an effect on the game that Navarro didn't. It was different. And sometimes you got to see what you have there. Sometimes you got to see, maybe he brings something different to the table than Navarro. It's all pros and cons with every player. Every player. You look at Football Manager, it really does sum it up the best. It's like, this guy's got a lot of pros, and then here are his cons, and they are real. And you build teams around that. But also,
okay, hold on. I got another name for you.
For Chicago Fire?
Yep.
Okay.
Jackson Ewell.
What position does he play? He's outside back?
No, defensive mid.
I like it. But that sits Jimenez.
Yeah, yes, it does.
Well,
I feel as though that's a goal here.
If you want to live the dream, these people are available. These players are available. Karim Benzema, the porn star. The French porn star, Karim Benzema. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. That's a different Karim Benzema, but he does involve with some sort of nefarious business.
Oh, he was a couple different nefarious things, apparently. Some blackmail. Didn't him and Ribéry get sent home in 2010?
He got kicked off the French national team. Totally. Yeah. And only recently got brought back and then missed the World Cup because he was injured. But there were some people on the team that did not like him being back. There was a rumor had that some of the players, it was very easy to guess who, like, Olivier Giroud, the older players who felt insulted that Kareem was there. And then Olivier Giroud, of course, got to replace Kareem Benzema and have an excellent World Cup. So that was interesting. So David De Gea potentially becoming available. I would love a David De Gea, but I think he's still Champions League worthy. I doubt he can come to MLS.
I just feel like you gotta go back to the well, man. You did so well with Slanina. Let Brady develop.
Let Brady do yeah, I agree. Let Brady do what okay. If Joe Mansueto proves he's actually a billionaire, prove it. Go get N'Golo Kante.
You know what? That's just crazy enough. It might happen.
Like that.
Because that cat's like very stoic and kind of like will do a job. Like, oh, you need me to do this? I'm there.
You want to win every game in MLS this year? Go get N'Golo Kante.
Oh God, you know what? I would be happy with that.
They would call our season the Undefeatables, because that's what would happen. Literally, N'Golo Kante could shut down the entire MLS, and I would love to see it happen in Chicago.
Oh, for sure. And then you could definitely run my system where you got Guti and Shaq going forward.
Oh my God, that is the one.
That is the one. That's it. We have solved every problem we could ever have.
That solves every problem for the Chicago Fire by signing N'Golo Kante. Yes, it's a dream signing. Yes, we know it's not realistic, but it is when you have Joe Mansueto billions.
Well, yeah, until he shows up and breaks his leg the first practice.
Oh, no. Memphis Depay is available.
No, not really. Not to us.
Not to us, but I'd definitely bring him in. I thought about this one before I even saw this list. I looked it up and I realized that, it's maybe not as realistic as I thought it was initially. At first, I was like, oh, that would be the move. And it's not going to be here. He'll go to New York City. I'm talking Ilkay Gundogan.
Who?
Ilkay Gundogan. I know it sounds like I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
I know,
okay.
It's Gundogan.
Gundogan. Yeah.
Okay. The German international with the crazy name has been one of the most important players since Pep Guardiola took over for Manchester City in 2016. He'll be out of contract.
I don't see that.
Yeah, he's 32, but damn, he's still Champions League worthy.
Yeah, he's still got it.
Now the same thing here is said of Toni Kroos, but I still think that Toni Kroos, 33 years old.
He's got 2 years at like a, I don't know, like a not Schalke, but like he's got 2 years at like a Leipzig, and then he comes to MLS.
And when he comes to MLS, he comes to Chicago Fire, just like Bastian Schweinsteiger. And the reason I say that is because the article I'm reading is saying it unsolicited. Listen to this. Toni Kroos, the former German, this is the unsolicited article. This is not written for Chicago Fire fans or anything. It's just like a random article. And just wait till you read this. Toni Kroos, the former German international, has been a key midfielder in Real Madrid's success in La Liga in the UEFA Champions League. Toni Kroos will be out of contract in the summer, and it seems that his time with the Spanish Giants will come to an end. Kroos could follow the steps of Bastian Schweinsteiger, who joined the Chicago Fire.
Does that or does that not feel like a sell your article to Americans type of play?
That could be, but it also could be, hey, there's a pattern here. And the pattern is that if Kroos goes to MLS, he's going to Chicago.
God, I'm going to say the most insensitive thing I think I'll ever say on the internet. I just don't like Germans on my team. Torsten Frings just put such a bad taste in my mouth. I'm holding a grudge. You remember Torsten Frings?
What about Arne
History's
Friedrich?
Greatest Monster?
What about Arne? What about Basti?
Didn't really excite me. I was happy with that season, but man, Basti did not excite me.
I was excited for Basti, but as the season wound on, we all I mean, I was being honest with myself, but I feel like a lot of people were not.
No.
They're not able to be honest. They're all like, we're seeing. They acted like they were seeing the Bastian Schweinsteiger of Bayern Munich, and I'm like, we're not even seeing the Bastian Schweinsteiger at Manchester United.
Oh, God, can we go to the next team? This is depressing me.
But hey, I was happy he was here and appreciative of the work he's done. And hey, like I said, he might have set up a pattern that Tony Cruz comes here. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't say no. FC Cincinnati. Cincy, in declining all options on Ellen Cruz, Ronald Matarrita, Tyler Blackett, and Jeff Cameron, cleared out $3.5 million worth of salary that they won't ever use again. They got Brenner. I like him. At Vasquez up top. They had a good team.
Yeah, they got a decent little team, man.
Lucho Acosta as their cam. I mean, okay, so look at the way that they run their team here. So they have Brenner and Vasquez and Acosta as their three main forwards. Is there something that the Fire could take from this? Because there's Brenner, Vasquez, Acosta really running it. We have Shaqiri and Duran, and who are we putting at that Brenner position?
New signing,
and they put Mueller on the left wing. You put Mueller on that left wing back. That way you'll sit Navarro. And then at that right wing back, you run Torres. You could sit Suquet. And then you could run Chicos, Turan, Suquet as a three center back system. We're back to talk about Chicago Fire. I mean, back to FC Cincinnati.
Dude, I already know they're signing. I see it already.
Powell,
and they're realistic.
Angulo, Nobbodu, Murphy, Miazga, Hagland, Calentano, Mariel, Acosta, Vasquez, Brenner. They have a good forward setup. Do they need somebody in midfield? Do they need somebody on the outside? Where are you looking?
Yes. They need somebody in midfield, and you know what they need? Someone who can do everything.
Luka Modric.
Sebastian Lletget.
That's a dirty good sneaky signing. That would that would do it. That and you got him.
That would give you
inside.
cover. He could start at the left or the right.
He could play
It would give you cover in the center.
He could do anything.
Although, I mean, I guess he's got to do a little bit more defense on the wing there. Yo, is that Alvis Powell? Is that who that Powell is?
I believe so, but let me double check. Powell.
They got a good team. This sucks.
Powell. Elvis Powell. Yeah, it is him. Elvis Powell. Oh, I didn't mean to close that. So,
yeah, that saddens me. They got a good team.
Yeah, they had a good team last year. It's not, they're gonna improve. I like your signing for a dream signing for them. Man, yeah, you like that Powell character, but I could still replace him. I mean, I could bring in Danny Alves here, see what work he could do. I could bring in Danny Alves and just say, "Hey, Danny, play right wing for us."
Why would he want to, like, there are certain people...
Because
like,
I'm also bringing in Ronaldinho to come back. He's unretiring for one season. He's coming back to FC Cincinnati.
Yeah,
it's
but
official.
You gotta clear his passport, you know?
I don't know. That wouldn't work. I'm sure there's probably there is probably a World Cup player we could take. Let's take a World Cup player.
Yeah, let's just take... Oh, you know who? Ramsey.
Aaron Ramsey. Okay, great shout. Boom. There it is. Aaron Ramsey, slot him in and probably drop either, I don't know who you drop, Nobodu or Angulo. They're both
it's kind
decent.
of the same thing with Lletget. He could play either outside midfield or any spot in the midfield.
I like that. Good signings there. FC Cincinnati, let us know. If you guys, if you got any ideas, dream signings, let us know.
Oh my God, my heart is saddened that Connor isn't here for this next one.
The Columbus Crew. The most aggressive pursuit of another MLS team's coach I can ever recall happening is the story of winter in Columbus thus far. If Wilfred Nancy is as good as he looked over the past couple of years in Montreal, I don't think it's wrong to assume he is. That he's worth every bit of equity and cash the Crew spent to get him. Here's the thing about the Crew. I think they fucking know good coaches when they find them. They found Gregg.
But they don't got the talent now.
They found Caleb. They found other coaches, and once again, Wilfred. It's like they're going in league, and they're like, yeah, you guys are just gonna let us get this great MLS coach? Okay, sure.
I mean, that's smart, dude. You don't see that a lot. Like, look at all these like signings we talk about outside of the league. There is
you see it from Columbus. Columbus took Portland's old coach, and here they are taking Montreal's.
Smart.
It's smart. It's smart business, and it really is super smart business in my opinion. And they bring in like an identity with that, and they commit to that identity for a few years to come. In addition to that identity, dude's got freaking Cucho and Zella Ryan to build with. I mean, there could be far worse pieces.
There could, but Zella Ryan is starting to age.
He is. But kind of like a fine hind, like old Pippa Higuain.
Oh, dude, they're going to have Molino. I forgot he was out for the year, like after the first game.
Okay.
They didn't even get to like experience having Molino.
Mandrada, Nagby. They got Darlington. Okay, darling. Alex Morris, Morera. I like Mensa. Williams, Degenik. Room is okay.
Dude, just that midfield spot next to Nagby is the only thing I'd even look to upgrade. Oh, maybe the keeper.
Room you could upgrade. Room you could totally upgrade. There's David De Gea. He's not coming to Columbus.
You don't know that.
David De Gea to Columbus.
Dude, most Europeans think that you could drive from New York to Miami in like a couple hours, man. Just tell them it's close to Chicago and New York.
Not a couple hours. It is hours that it'll take, but any more than that.
Like I said, the keeper and that spot next to Nagby, the only two I would even look to upgrade. This is a pretty solid team, actually.
Just maybe on somebody on the back line. They seem thin there.
Oh, yeah, they are a little thin. You need to add some to that, but
they seem really thin on that back line if they put it out this way. Is that Sands? What Sands is that?
I don't know, actually.
Well, we gotta take a look at this. That's not the right Sands. It's got to be Columbus.
No. Hopefully, it's the younger brother or something.
Sands. Will Sands. He's 22 years old. Let's double check if he's any way related. Oh my God. He's got the same genetic makeup as James Sands.
We can rebuild them.
You can rebuild him. He's the twin brother. I'm not even joking. He's the twin brother of James Sands, who currently plays for Rangers on loan from New York City. He has the same DNA. You can rebuild him. You can make him a better soccer player. It's absolutely possible. I want the Chicago Fire to go get him. Go get him. Go get Will Sands.
You know who the good shout is for them? Tim Ream.
Tim fucking Ream is chef's kiss for this team. And I'll tell you why. Comes in at that left back spot, pushes Degenik out. Degenik I don't know how good Degenik is versus Williams versus Mensa. I don't know who's the best defender of the three is. Let him figure it out. Let him duel it out.
I think you're right on that one, though, by the way. He would push Degenik out. Yeah,
you push Degenik out, and Degenik, Williams, Mensa, you let them duel it out over for those other two spots, and boom, he slots in right there. And holy shit, he makes this team work. Wow.
Yup. Also, you know who else would play well right next to Darlington Nagby? Well, maybe he's playing more on the wing these days. You know what? You could replace the guy on the left, Mataranda, with Dwayne Holmes. American playing over at somewhere at the championship. I can't think what team right now.
If I'm replacing Madronda, I'm replacing him with with Sands. I want to see what I got in Sands, especially if I got the same genetic makeup as James. I'm not. I wish I was joking, but hey, you gotta try it. You gotta try it. You gotta see what you got there.
I love it.
Let's see. I think that's.
I'm sticking to Tim Ream though. I think that's the best.
Oh man, I think that's one of your best shouts of the night, and I feel like you've been spear fishing fish in a bucket all night. Like you've been nailing them. And that's been.
I just stick to who I know. You know, you just got to stick to who you know.
It's good. It's great. We're moving on to DC United. Whew. Okay, let me put on my helmet here. So since the end of the season, DC United have parted ways with their GM, reassigned multi-time interim head coach Chad Ashton, moved longtime CSO Dave Casper, declined contract options on 12 players, about half the roster, including Ola Kamara and Bill Hamid. And David Ochoa. What? Both goalkeepers. They've acquired 7 new players. And they've given Wayne Rooney the steering wheel, the checkbook, and whatever else he needs to make DC United his team.
I feel like they're on the right path. They're not
Benteke
gonna
up
be great.
front. Oh, I like that. I think Benteke with the season settled.
Yep.
Might do a lot more work. Funtas at that right wing, Rodriguez at that left wing. Not too in the know about either at the moment. I think I've heard of Funtas. Klitsch, Morrison. Is that Ravel? Was that Ravel Morrison?
That one I don't know.
Is that Ravel Morrison? No way is that Ravel Morrison. I gotta see if that's.
God, Bernabom's still out here doing the damn thing.
Holy fucking shit, that's Ravel Morrison. Oh, so Ravel Morrison has an interesting situation going on. So stud potential in England didn't turn out great. Playing with the Jamaican national team, I believe. But the word was not get along with the team.
Could happen.
Did not get along with a lot of the Jamaican players. Jamaican players and English Jamaican players sometimes don't get along all the time. They might sometimes apparently they do sometimes have problems getting along. Sometimes they don't. But they apparently did have a big problem. Kind of everybody on the team with Ravel Morrison. Apparently.
Yeah, they were a little bit of a mess in qualifying.
It sounded like he was. They thought that he was a little too high and mighty. So that's something to watch out for DC. But Ravel Morrison with Wayne Rooney there, you got to think Wayne's going to be able to keep him in check. Ravel, Benteke, I'm liking some of that talent. I think there's something there. G's is a new signing over on that left back. Williams Birnbaum, that's a name we've heard before. At center back, and Ruan. I think Ruan's okay. He's got Andy Najjar at backing up Ruan. I like that. Najjar's a backup. Like that's a.
Well, I mean, he's getting up there a little bit, man.
But that's a good MLS backup, right? And then
that's
Miller.
A very good MLS backup.
And then you got Miller and Bono. You got 2 guys. I think you got.
Is
2
that
guys.
Tyler Miller?
Yeah, and you got Bono and behind him, and to me, you even have Zamudio. But Zamudio, you got Miller and Bono. I think that whoever's got the hot hand there, you could ride.
I don't know. I don't know. You gotta upgrade that midfield. That's where I'd upgrade.
Paulson
or Klitsch. I can barely see it, but the guy next to Morrison.
Yeah, Klitsch was
upgrade that midfield. You know what? Ramsey would fit better here. Aaron Ramsey would fit better here, I think. But
that's another good one. I like. Oh, you said him before, but yeah, I like Aaron as a good shout for MLS teams to go and get.
I think so. I think he's made the rounds. He had his World Cup. I think he's ready to make some bank and
they rate
right
Palsen, dude. They rate Palsen. Victor Palsen. They think he's decent.
They could use a good 2-way guy, I think, man.
They rate
not
Futens,
not
Futez.
like play Paulson, but they could use a good box to box, kind of like a Yunus Musa type, but obviously not that kid.
Oh man, Yunus Musa. I was tweeting something out. I was earlier today. I was like, oh man, it was cruising USA, but I initially had a cruising Musa. And because I was like, because I wanted the perfect Chicago Fire signing. So I was like, cruising Musa, bring in Tony Cruz and Musa, Ahmed Musa. I know they're both play midfield, but I don't care. That it would just, our team would be amazing. And it would sound like fun too. So DC players, I like your shout. They're centered at striker. I feel like they could use a winger here, and some sort of Eden Hazard type of winger.
Easy, Jordan Morris.
Jomo! Good old Jormore. All right, our old friend of the show, Jordan Morris. Yeah, I mean, he's MLS, not even just MLS capable. He's MLS dominant when he's on his day. But how many days does he have left?
I think he's got a few.
As an MLS starter, he's definitely got a few left.
Oh yeah, well yeah, as an MLS starter for sure.
But as everything else, I don't know if you ideal signing, perfect signing. I'm going Eden Hazard.
Yeah. Oh God, as like a dream signing for sure. Eden Hazard is a good shout.
Oh, but you know what? DC, Wayne Rooney's got pool.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, they have pull and they don't look terrible. You could just slot some puzzle pieces in. They could be a good team.
What about Alexis
Sanchez?
Yes. What about Alexis Sanchez?
What is he? Is he still even playing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at Rodriguez. Bringing Alexis Sanchez there, or
oh God, James Rodriguez.
James Rodriguez would be another one. That'd be a great one.
Oh man, oh man, you're making me smile. Let's see here.
One of my favorite, Ivanovic, the left back, left winger, plays in Italy all the time. What's his face?
I honestly don't know.
Hold on. So James Rodriguez does play for Olympiacos. You could bring him in.
You could get DC. That. You could get that done.
Oh yeah. All right.
Yeah, honestly, that could get done easily.
I'm liking that.
Coutinho. Philip Coutinho.
He of $110 million, but no longer.
No longer.
Like, wow. Get him for 10 million. 120, 80, 20, 10. That'd be nuts. That would help. Coutinho would be dominant.
Oh my God. You know what? I just thought of a name I want for the Fire. Batshuayi.
Oh, Mitchie. Oh yeah, Batshuayi. He's too good. He's
he's not. He's like, I think he's backing somebody up in Turkey.
What? Get him out here.
Exactly.
Get him out here.
Bring the young man to Chicago.
I'm in on Mitchie Batshuayi.
If he can come back from embarrassment. He hit himself in the face with the soccer ball before,
Have him in Chicago and hit himself with a pie. Little bozo buckets type of meme celebration. Boom, it'll start off pure, clean, good, clear conscience. And
oh my God, that's the best new celebration in soccer. Somehow you have to do like the bozo, like throw the ping pong ball
bozo
game.
Buckets.
Yeah, exactly. That would be such a great celebration.
You got to have every player just makes a. You have 6 players, each one in a row. They each make a thing. You got the ball.
They make yeah.
You got somebody gets you the soccer ball.
Love it.
Another player lays down as the line. So like you have a demarcating line that you can't cross. Another person acts as bozo and points.
Oh, I love it.
And points. It points at the ball, and the goal scorer gets to throw, and he gets to go as long as he makes it. He makes it the first bucket easy, right? If he makes it the first bucket, he gets to try again. He gets to try. Hey, that's a bozo bucket rule. You missed that first bucket. You get to try again. And boom, he continues on until he misses, and boom, there's the celebration, right?
I love it. I'm into it.
Oh my God, I love it.
Hell yeah.
All right, DC. Good luck with that. Moving on to Inter Miami, the team that does not have Messi yet, but will.
Yeah, 2025 will be fun.
Yeah, I think 2025 sounds about right, at least by then. So, Campagna, Taylor, Lassiter leading the front line. They got Messi in here, but they literally have Messi in this article, but we know he's not. Gregor, Mota, McVeigh, Mabika, Lowe, Yedlin, and Calendar, the Calendar man. Miami needs help.
Well, we know they're making the playoffs because they have DeAndre Yedlin. But beyond that,
Part of the team.
you could upgrade around here.
I don't know where you can't upgrade.
Oh, you're pretty right. Yeah. You
I know where you can't upgrade. Besides Yedlin.
No, there is no better right back. DeAndre Yedlin.
All right, let's go to this team.
Man, who's that guy? Used to play for Juventus. They should get him. Moutinho?
No. Matt Tweedy. Matt Tweedy. Blaise Matuidi, the guy that they signed illegally. But hey, we're forgetting. Wait a second. Where the fuck? So wait a second. Where's Pozuelo? Where's Higuain? Are they gone?
The Higuain brothers are gone.
Higuain's gone. Pozuelo's gone.
Oh, I forgot Pozuelo went to Miami. You're right. He probably is gone. Where is that cat?
They signed Leo Campagna to a young DP deal. And where the hell did Pozuelo go? He's out of contract, and they don't expect him to be coming back.
Okay. You know what? I have a place where he could go. Oh, man. I don't know, Miami, you could do anything. And they're like, yeah, you could really do anything with this team. They got some holes.
The official conclusion of Messi Watch is concluded. It's not this year, we know. Which is, for me, disappointing. That MLS deal, they would have gotten so many people on if Messi was there. You know
who they would be the ones to sign Modric. Luka Modric. It would be such a Miami move.
That's it. That's the signing. Check mark. That's not only is it the dream, that's the realistic. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's the first thing that comes to mind.
That
they
feels
need
like
a
what's
winger
gonna
bad.
happen. It feels like you wrote the almanac, the sports almanac page there.
Yeah, definitely.
I like that shout. Let's move on to Montreal, unless we have any more shouts for Inter Miami. But they need help.
Montreal is they're gonna be garbage. They have nothing left.
No coach.
They don't even have a coach left.
Georgie's gone. Ismail Kone's gone to Watford for $8 million. George Mihailovic gone to AZ Alkmaar for $6 million. Alistair Johnston out the door to Celtic for 3.5. And Wilfred Nancy gone. They replaced him with Hernan Losada.
They're cooked.
Fucking cooked. They gave up. They gave up.
They need to sign Bill Hamid. They need to sign.
Why do I like their front three? Kamara, Kyoto, and Torres.
I do love me some Kai Kamara, despite recent ridiculousness, but I do love me some Kai Kamara.
I do kind of like that front three. Kai Kamara, Romel Kyoto, and who's this other guy? Hold on. Torres. Which Torres is this? Which Torres? There's a lot of Torreses. Torres, Montreal FC. Joaquin Torres?
Don't know him.
$2 million right winger.
You know what's so funny? They play in the league, but being Canadian and like not really ever being like super interesting, I never know anything about Montreal.
From Newell's Old Boys. He's a Newell's Old Boys kid.
Oh shit.
Joaquin Torres. 25 years old. He's got some talent. But yeah, man, they lost Alistair Johnson, George Mihailovic. Do they still have Victor Wanyama there? Oh,
They sure do.
they do. Piet, Lapalainen, Herrera, Waterman. That's better. That's a step up from the Water Boy. Camacho and Miller and Pantemis. Ew. Your Pantemis is showing. Your Pantemis. Maybe it's Pantemis Pro V.
I would go with an outside back, but I can't think of who would be available.
You could
Or
replace
who would want to-
Lapalainen.
Who would be like MLS level. I don't know, man. It's too many holes for me to fill, too many question marks for me to know, man.
Who's that Bayern left back that used to play for Vancouver?
You mean the best left back in the world?
I mean, he's Canadian.
Nah, you're never seeing that kid ever again. That was a flash in the pan.
You don't think he ever comes back to MLS?
Hell no. Well, he does love. He does like representing Canada.
Dude, he loves representing Canada.
He might one day just come back to like TFC or some shit.
TFC seems like the landing destination.
That seems like the premier Canadian franchise.
Right.
I don't know, man. What do you think?
They need help. Especially if they're losing their coach, losing their system. But I mean, Wanyama, Kamara, Kyoto, these are excellent pieces to build with. I like that a lot. Camacho at center back. Oh man.
Oh man, you know who they need? Oh, why can't I think of the kid's name? The Costa Rican center back.
Okay. Yep.
Oh, I can't think of his name.
Going to.
Oh,
I know exactly what you're talking about because he was on our team.
Yes, he was. Oh God, the horror.
Francisco
Calvo. Oh God.
It's time for he would be a perfect Montreal signing to be honest. I mean, he would, but they don't want him. They should not sign him.
No one should. I mean, somebody should because he's too good to. It's just too good of entertainment. But man, Francisco Calvo.
Yeah, maybe take a chance on Carlos Martinez of San Carlos in the Costa Rican Football League. You know, he's 23
roll
years
the
old.
dice.
He played at the World Cup. No, maybe roll the dice on this young Costa Rican kid.
You never know. I want to see the Honduran, Costa Rican, Jamaican. I want to see these leagues get better.
Yes.
So let's start buying some players.
Bringing some of their best players over and develop talent.
Yep, give them money. Let them build a better foundation.
Moving on to Nashville SC. Nashville SC, the Yotes. They call them the Yotes. Have made them some low-key depth moves. Clearing out space at the bottom of the roster using their newfound flexibility to do things like signing Jacob Schaffelberg, the shuffleboard champion, permanently, and Inc. veteran winger Fafa Picoult in a trade and sign USL Championship center back Lawrence Wakey.
I like that. I like seeing more USL to MLS moves.
Especially good players. Bring up the good players that are doing well. See what they can do.
You know what? Somebody needs to, you know who needs a job? Why am I forgetting his name? All I can think of is that asshole guy. And it's not him.
Gonzalez.
From Chicago, played for Madison. I mean, didn't really play for Chicago. Had a podcast for a super hot second. God, that's gonna bother me. What's this kid's name? It's not Fondy. It's not the Fondler. Yeah, I'll think of it.
All right, I'll give you time.
I've lost it.
They're trying to get rid of Ake Loba. He spent about $7 million on him, but he's apparently been dead weight. Maybe Nashville should have been in for Cristiano Ronaldo instead of Sporting KC. Did you hear that? Sporting KC was in for Cristiano Ronaldo.
I still don't believe that's as close as they want us to believe it was.
I can't believe that. There's no fucking way in this world that, maybe it is for Cristiano. Cristiano's like, I go to the place in America where there is no people.
You know what? That might have been an appeal. Nobody talks about that. They're like, oh, why would he want to be in the middle of nowhere? Well, yeah, he might be able to build himself a Michael Jackson style compound.
Dude, Sporting Kansas City for sure. There could be truth to this, because if they had Patrick Mahomes on an iPad talking to Cristiano, repping Kansas City, that very well could have been a thing. Because Patrick Mahomes would say, yo, you could be so low key here, dude. Yo, bro, come out here. You can live low key, come be out the games, have a great time, and then go back and just disappear. And they don't even know where you are, bro.
It's wild.
And I think that could have been a big time sell for Cristiano Ronaldo. He's like, yeah, maybe instead of New York, I go disappear in Kansas City.
I mean, it's not dumb.
Instead, he disappears in the Middle East.
Oh man, did you see how awkward that? Oh god, just the whole saga. I've always thought Messi was better, but things are getting ugly.
It's getting ugly. I used to think Messi was the best. Then for a while, I thought Ronaldo was the best. And after this World Cup, I think there is no argument against Messi being the best. I had to say, you know what? I used to think Ronaldo was the best, but he is not. It is Messi.
Dude, I like this lineup.
Mukhtar, Sapong getting starting minutes. Leal, Dax McCarty, ex-Chicago Fire player along with CJ Sapong. Godoy, I like Godoy. Fafa Picault still getting starting minutes. Schaffelberg, they just talked about him backing up Fafa Picault. You got Lovitz, Romney, Zimmerman, Moore. These are all top MLS players. Good players.
I think Romney's the only one that's like stands out to upgrade.
Let's go to Nashville and take a look. I mean, Dax is the heart of isn't he like the captain of the team? So it's like, how do you replace that? And they obviously replaced Schaffelberg with Fafa Picault. This is a fucking good team.
Yeah, they're gonna be good again.
Romney is where you go. You replace Romney, you bring in. Oh, you're gonna love this. Oh,
I don't know.
No, you're gonna hate this.
Who's a good center back? Who's out there?
Actually, you're gonna hate this because you hate Germans. But it's defender. Go to the World Cup.
Oh, I know. I don't know who you're talking about, but I've got one.
Go for it.
Who's the Bonucci? Maybe is it the cat who was next to?
Bonucci's a good shout. I like that.
Yeah, the cat at Juventus who played next to. Oh my God, one of my blank Collini.
No, it's time for Mats Hummels.
How the mighty have fallen.
It's time for Mats Hummels. Bring Mats in here.
Let's do it. Let's see him get cooked by MLS talent.
Start him next to Zimmerman and watch this team just win.
I love it. I'm
like
actually,
that.
You know what? I love it. Despite my prejudice, I love it.
That one got you. Okay, good. Have we finished with Smashville?
I think so, man. They're good.
All right, we're moving on. Yeah, they're too good, dude. Can't make them too much better. League of Parody here. New England Revolution. A lot of depth pieces were shown the door, and 7 players either seen their options declined or seen their options expire. Just like AJ De La Garza, who retired. Okay. Giacomo Veroni is a DP. He didn't look great in MLS last year, but he maybe needs time to adjust. He's their striker.
Well, did he come mid-season? I mean, I
Yes.
think it's pretty obvious when they come mid-season,
Right. They got Gill over on that right side. He's just a superstar.
They didn't sell him?
Isn't he? He's a league superstar, isn't he? when the
Oh, yeah.
when the pitch is good, when the pitch is not shitty, and he's willing to play. He is a killer. The Gill's a killer.
Oh man, there's that beautiful Matt Polster.
Barrero, dude.
And they
Matt
signed Latif
Polster.
Blessing today or the other day. Yeah,
Matt
no,
Polster starting at central defensive mid for them. How about that?
they're good. They're gonna be decent too. I would look at the wings. That would be where I would look.
Okay, yeah, their wings need help. And they're starting Polster, but Polster, I thought they had on right back before. Well, they did start by.
They did,
too.
but that Bye kid is pretty decent.
Yeah, they let him come around. It seems they've developed him, and they want to keep Bulma out there, dude. Bruce knows how to. Bruce knows who his best players are. And he finds a way to keep him out there, dude. Bruce is a better coach than I think we all. He gets better with age. I think he just keeps getting better.
Man. He's good. He's good. Like I said, the wing is where I would look.
Yeah,
I'll look at the wing of these guys.
Barrero. Yeah, so you're looking to replace Barrero easily. Yeah.
This is my Zaha. This is my Zaha shout.
Or your Eden Hazard shout. Yeah, or we need another one. Memphis Depay.
No, Memphis is going somewhere good.
No, and you also need someone who's going to get along with Bruce.
Well, like who's old at the World Cup? You know, Belgium was old.
Yep. Okay, I'm going.
Croatia was old. Japan was old.
On my way to Belgium right now. Belgium. Well,
I mean, you know what? Not that I do believe in my heart of hearts that MLS is better than Scotland, but
Dries Mertens.
you know, the Scots have found massive success with getting Japanese players over there.
Dries Mertens.
Oh, dude. Oh, I don't know about that one. How
He's
old
old.
is that
He's
guy?
35.
Is he?
He's
Okay,
35.
okay. You know what? That could happen.
But dude, plays for Galatasaray. 107 apps for Belgium. Dries come in on that left side. It's like it was made for him. It was like
I think you just solved this problem.
New England, Dries Mertens. There you go.
Beautiful.
All right, we just solved New England, dude. This is so fun, giving them the dream sign.
I know. I hate to say this out loud, dude. I only got time for one more.
Oh no, it's been a blast, Toke. It's been amazing. But hey,
I know.
I guess we're gonna have to save the two of the. Oh man, they got the two New York teams. So we got
which one you want?
These are the
which
teams.
one you want?
We got New York City FC and New York Red Bulls. Dude, New York City's got a lot of question marks, but I think I already solved one of them. It's okay, Gundogan. He's coming.
Yeah,
Bam.
you know what? That's a good shout as well.
They need a striker.
That is a good shout as well.
And you know who else they get along with Ilkay Gundogan? They get Olivier Giroud.
Yeah, you'd have. Yeah. Oh, I think you never. You know what? You solved it. That's it.
I just solved their stadium problem. I just solved New York Stadium problem. All right. You get Ilkay Gundogan and Olivier Giroud. They will build it.
Well, look, they don't. Where are their DPs? They've got the DP slots for both of them, don't they?
Yes, indeedy. Oh my gosh. Pereira on the right, Magno left, Morales, Parks. Parks is decent. Amundsen, Callens, Thiago, Gray, and Johnson. Sean Johnson, I think they want to resign him.
Oh, they definitely want to.
And then you,
dude, I think you solved. I think this is the perfect landing place for Giroud and
Gundogan.
Yes.
Oh my god, they're so scary. Those two guys.
I have to agree.
Can you imagine those two guys as the spine of your team? How did they lose?
They couldn't. This is a good team, man.
And they got Sean Johnson in net. That's a champion. That's a championship winner.
Oh yeah. Then you do something like you steal one or two talents from Major League Soccer too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're gonna be good again, dude. How could a team without a striker, without a central midfielder, turn out to be even better than the Fire right now? They look good, especially if you put Giroud and Gundogan in there.
Oh man, you give them two former world-class players. That might do a thing or two. Toke,
That's exciting.
It's been amazing. It's been great. I'm sad you got to
It
go.
has. My heart
appreciate
is
your time.
sad because I want to go through the rest, but I know you can, my man. You've got this. You've got the gift for it.
Dude, without your shouts though, I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. You were pulling some out like you were Merlin fighting against Morgan Le Fay, and she was just like bewildered.
You know what? I might be able to sneak into the chat.
No pressure. Do what you gotta do. You know, and life goes on. No worries. I'm just always fun hanging out.
But yeah, it definitely is. Hey, just letting you know, man. Not to like pimp my stuff, but I'm going to be streaming every Monday, Thursday, and Sunday. So if you want to shoot around on some Fortnite tomorrow,
where are you streaming? Are you streaming on Twitch?
No, I'm moving over to YouTube.
You're committing
I
to
did Twitch
streaming
the other day, and I did YouTube on New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna stick to YouTube.
For me, I'm thinking you should continue to dabble in both, but I don't know yet. The way content consumption is going, I'm always, you know, I'm you and I, we're always trying to figure out, like, you know, what's going to make it worth our time. And it's really, hey, what we like to enjoy to do. That's the half of it. And so as long as you already have that half, the rest of it should figure itself out.
For sure. Like I said, man, hit me up if you wanna hop on tomorrow and play something. Because other than that, I'll be playing God of War.
I'm 100% not going to be able to. I am indisposed tomorrow evening. I know that for a fact. I got an appointment. But beyond that, we'll figure out that stuff. I've been seeing your chat, and I know you want to get this gaming thing going, but we'll talk about that more on a side thing.
Yeah, man, we'll talk offline about that. Thanks again for letting me come in here and say what's up and have some fun, man. It's been a blast. Thank you.
Always a blast, Toke.
All right, peace out.
Later. That was Toke, FCNeoTokyo. Go check him out. One of the friends of the channel. Got him on my friends of the channel shows on the YouTube tabs. If you go and check it, and go ahead and check that out. Some funny freaking videos. And look forward to the future. We might have couple more coming out. Well, he's got streaming coming out, but we also got we might have some plans going here in the future. But if you want to have some laughs as you had all night, Toke's the way to go. Hank has been quoted saying the unveiling of CR7 at El Nassr was just over the top. Man, chat, this has been a blast. Saving MLS. Moving on, we got New York Red Bulls, Orlando, Philly, Toronto left before the Western Conference. We might have to save Western Conference for next stream. But let's finish strong. Moving on to Red Bull New York. They've done mostly their typical thing. Released a bunch of guys, and they're near the bottom of the roster to make room for a new influx of the homegrown signings, the ones that they truly seem to do so well at. They saw some more significant moves as Aaron Long is hitting free agency. He's reportedly down to sign for the Sounders or Inter Miami, which would be surprising and help out whatever team earns his signature. But the core of the matter is that Red Bulls are not in consideration, which is a horrible development for the Red Bulls and a very interesting one for Aaron Long. Kane Clark and Kyle Duncan, however, they saw their loans end. There is some reason to suspect that Duncan could be back, but that's not going to be the case for Clark, whose years in Harrison, New Jersey have ultimately ended up being a disappointment. The biggest incoming news has been free agent center forward Corey Burke. 31-year-old is built to win all kinds of long balls that Red Bull New York play a million times a game, and they're built to turn those knockdown headers into transition moments that serve as energy drink soccer's most effective playmaker. They also signed a pair of homegrown left backs, Afori and Reed, who will be in our which will be in our segue into the next league segment. Manol, Luquinhas, Morgan, Duncan, Caceres, Edelman, Tolkien, Nealis. Man, Red Bull need help. Question mark. Reyes, Coronel. Red Bulls need an amazing amount of help, and they just lost Aaron Long. So who are they going to replace there? I don't know how or what you're going to replace there. Maybe you look at, let's go to the Swiss national team, because there was somebody there who I liked for this purpose, and it was defender. No, yes, Fabian Schär. 30 years old, plays for Newcastle, and I imagine not going to be too much time before Fabian Schär is going to get pushed out at Newcastle. Let's take a look. Newcastle United to FIFA. Take a look at their starting lineup real quick. I mean, he's a starter for now. You got Botman next to him, but you're not going to get a Premier League starter, but coming off a World Cup. But hey, this is the dream signing. It would be Fabian Schär. Likely? I don't think so. I think the likelihood there is very low, but they need a miracle here. How are you going to replace Aaron Long? Ooh. We said Tim Ream earlier. Does Tim Ream come to Red Bull New York? That actually seems possible too. Slot Nealis over into the middle because you probably would rather want Ream over on that left side as we discussed earlier with Tokyo. But man, I'm not excited for Red Bull's chances next year. They need help. Orlando City. Busy. The Lions showed 12 players the door. Though 3 of those guys, playmaker Mauricio Pereira and goalkeepers Pedro Galiz and Adam Greenway, have re-signed. And another, homegrown U.S. Open Cup Ben hero Benji Michel, could still return. Still, though, we're looking at something of kind of an overhaul, with longtime starting fullbacks Ruan and João Moutinho both departing, as we saw Ruan now in Inter Miami, I believe, Junior Urso heading back to Brazil, and Tesho Ekindele riding his e-bike off into retirement. The exodus has allowed Oscar Pereira and company to go a little crazy with the offseason additions, and, well, they've been obliged. Adding left-back Luca Petrosa via trade, exercising the option of Wilder Cartagena's loan through 2023. Very good move. Signing Felipe as a free agent, and then going ham in the super draft by trading up to pick attacker Shaq Mohammed, 2nd overall. Grabbing center forward Duncan Maguire, who I love, 6th, and defender Abdi Salim, 17th. I think all 3 guys make the roster. And I bet the first 2 play real minutes right away. But playing real minutes for an MLS contender does not seem likely. This team will probably struggle. While they did bring back Pereira on a Nyan DP deal, which opens up space for them to bring in a DP winger Martin Ojeda from Godoy Cruz, it's safe to say that they do not know what the fuck they're doing. And Orlando City is doomed for another season of bad soccer play. Cara, Ojeda, Torres, Pereira, Cartagena, Araujo, all not good enough. Good enough for MLS, sure. Good enough to win MLS? We all know that answer is no. Petrasso, Johnson, Antonio Carlos, and Halliday. Halitosis Halliday, they call them. And Pedro Galiz will be finally starting. And Stadjuhar, he's definitely not a Viking anymore. I don't think Orlando City is going to do well, but good luck to them. Dream signing, yikes. Where do you go to save this team? You go striker? You go to left back? You go to center back? Do you go to center mid? What the heck saves this team? Well, I'll tell you who. We're going to a little old country called Argentina. And we're going to find the oldest World Cup winner on Argentina besides Leo Messi. I see Nicolas Otamendi. I see Papu Gomez, both aged 34. I also see Angel Di Maria, currently playing over at Juventus. Still good enough, 34. Potentially good enough to win Champions League. But there is the move. Angel Di Maria. I would love to see that for Orlando City FC. That would be on the move akin to Nani, would it not? It seems like a Nani move. Angel Di Maria. That's an Orlando City type of signing, in my opinion. Let us know if you agree. Greatly appreciate and love to read your guys' comments. Philadelphia, Philadelphia Union. Well, Paxton Anderson was sold. Corey Burke left in free agency. Cole Turner's option was declined, so it is absolute chaos in Philadelphia for the second place team. Will they be as good as they were last year? Remains to be seen. If Kai Wagner's not sold this month, I'll eat my hat. Well, that's according to the article writer, not this podcaster. And it wouldn't be shocking at all if Olivier Mabaidzo joined him. He actually was better than Wagner over the final couple of months of 2022 and into the playoffs, but that's neither here nor there. This is the Union, and replacing a couple of fullbacks is not something I'd expect them to struggle with in any real way. I could see them promoting from within. I mean, Nathaniel Harriel started over Lazio for half the season last year, or going off the radar exactly as they did with Wagner and Mabaidzo in the first place. The only other area to keep an eye on is the center forward, where the departure of Burke hurts. Chris Donovan should, in theory, take those minutes, and they're likely to sign teenager Jose Riasco from their MLS Pro next side. But I'd be entirely shocked to see a big-bodied late-game specialist brought in to do the grunt work that Burke was so excellent at over these past few years. Regardless, this team's loaded as hell and ready to make runs in literally every competition they enter this season. Juhe, Carranza, Donovan and Sullivan backing them up. And you got Gazdag, just superstar right there in that attacking midfielder. Flack, he takes none. Alejandro Bedoya, McGlynn, and Pereira backing him up like that a lot. Martinez in the backfield. Wagner, possibly. Mabaidzo, unknown still. Love the Elliott and Glesnes pairing. Elliott's just been growing as an MLS player as these years have gone on and just been growing as a great MLS center back. And of course, you got the Jamaican international, Blake, and goalkeeper. Philadelphia is a team to be reckoned with. Where does this team go? Well, I like the article author said. You probably got to go outside back. Who fixes this? What outside back comes in and says, all right, I could fix this? And is he Italian? I don't know yet. We'll have to find out. We're looking all around. We're trying to find like an outside back or a winger. Guillermo Ochoa, he strikes me as a goalkeeper. Maybe a Mexican international. Maybe that's where we got to look like for Philadelphia. I don't know. Maybe an English international. Maybe an Irish international. Maybe even an American international. Bring somebody back. I don't know if you guys have any ideas while you're listening to me ruminate and figure out that we absolutely should be bringing in Henry Martin from Mexico. The name I just pulled out of a hat. Or you could look to Poland. Right there, bring back old Chicago Fire player Frankowski. I mean, it's possible. He's getting time in the French league. He's worth something. He's proven in MLS. He could, but unlikely he's going to come back here. He came to MLS to showcase what he could do so he could make that Polish national team. I like Kamil Grosicki. 34 years old. That could be a good signing. Krychowiak could be another good one. But I don't know if they really help Philadelphia. We're trying to solve their outside back situation. And if we're trying to do that, maybe free agent outside backs 2023. Outside backs, soccer, not football, right? Skriniar? No way. Oh, I love this. Milian Skriniar is available. That'd be an awesome one. Tillemans is available. Doubt it. Benzema, we know. Jorginho, we've heard. Jorginho could be available. Somebody could bring him in as a midfielder. Zaha, as Tok was talking about. Marcus Thuram. Marcus Thuram. Nah, probably not. Evan Nadika, Leandro Trossard, Thomas Lamar, too young. N'Golo Kante, too good. Daichi Kamada. Ah. I don't think so. Mukoko. Firmino. Conrad Lamer. Gundogan, we already said. Adrian Rabiot. I love the Adrian Rabiot shout to MLS, but I just still think he's too good. It'd be awesome. Marco Asensio, bring him in. Victor Sigankov. Oh, I love the Sigankov shout, but that's for somebody who needs a goalkeeper. Philadelphia does not need a goalkeeper. And Kagler Soyuncu. It could be a good move. All right. So I'm like, all right, there's some decent shots there. All right, hopefully you got something there, Philadelphia. Because what you guys need to get better, I'm having a hard time picking out an older left back who's close to finishing. I got an idea. Actually, I do have an idea. See if he is around. Yep, I found it. I found your signing. All right. Ivan Perisic. That is the Philadelphia Union wingback signing. You get Ivan Perisic to go play that Wagner or turn that into a back three. Well, I don't know, but I don't need him as an outside back, man. But man, that would just get him on your left wing. That's the moral of the story. Go get Ivan Perisic, put him on your left wing, and have a good day, Philadelphia. Philadelphia. Toronto FC. They kept Jonathan Osorio and signed Matt Hedges as a free agent. They brought back Victor Vasquez via the re-entry draft, and those three guys all should make a difference. But the bigger story is how much pruning TFC has done over the roster. 10 guys were shown the door, and how much of the roster still needs building. Right now, it's very incomplete. The good news is they still have a DP slot open and in Ayo Ekinola and Jaden Janelson, two homegrown products who can be traded or transferred in order to open up roster space and generate allocation cash. Well, along with that wheeling and dealing, they got to keep going. Besides Ekinola and Nelson, they also have Jaquil Marshall-Ruddy, a talented youngster outside back. There's a non-zero chance of Chris Mavinga's return, but what's more urgent is finding an actual left back, a starting caliber goalkeeper, and some central midfield depth. It becomes at least a little bit less urgent if Nelson isn't sold, but even if he stays there, 0 D mids behind Michael Bradley, and probably not a good thing. They have to shop at the bargain bin for some of that. This year will be a true test of Bob Bradley's ability to recruit and also get the most out of the young players here, developing them at the same time while keeping high-level veteran-laden roster happy and winning. That's the key part. It's not going to be an easy balance for him. And as for that DP spot, I genuinely have no idea where they could or even should use it. The best way might be save Gam and open up all 3 U22 slots by hitting Michael with the DP tag. And then using one of those U22s on a high upside left back, which the cap hits at just under 150K. And then going after a high-level keeper via the import or free agency. I mean, Sean Johnson. Hey, Colin. Like I said, wheeling and dealing. Bob, Bill Manning, and the rest of Bay Trust, they're going to have to be a busy bunch to make something happen here. David De Gea over to Manchester to New York City FC. Yes, something to think about. Jimenez, although he might not because of the Manchester City thing, and there might be just too much Manchester City in New York City FC. But how do we fix up Toronto? I mean, they need a new left back with Crescito retiring or gone. Signe still there at that left wing. Love that. Bernadeschi at that right wing. So dangerous. Jimenez. What Jimenez is that? Toronto FC Jimenez. Jesus Jimenez. Let's see. He is Jesus Jimenez. All right, that's him. So that's who he is. I was making sure there was the Mexican Jimenez, Raul. Is that? I mean, if that was Raul Jimenez and Sidney Raul Jimenez and Bernadeschi as a Premier League worthy front line, that would be wrecking absolutely wrecking. John Anthony K, or is it John Anthony Osorio? I don't know which one of them, right? Or Juan Carlos Osorio, John Anthony K, Michael Bradley in the midfield. I like that midfield. Michael Bradley getting up there in age, though, and it's time to replace him. Sorry, go get N'Golo Kante, and then Coach Bob Bradley is going to have to say, sorry, Bob, or sorry, Michael, the decision's out of my hands, which would be tragic. Matt Hedges, you really like. You want to see him do good there. O'Neal, Richie Laria doing all right there. I think he was at the World Cup as well. They need a goalkeeper. They need a goalkeeper bad. Hello, David De Gea? Hello? Toronto FC gets the best. I mean, they are, in my opinion, they get treated like they're Chicago, while Chicago gets treated like they're like a third, like Kansas City, who's apparently in for Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't know how, but I mean, Chicago pulled out Bastian Schweinsteiger, so miracles have happened, right? Chat, it's been an amazing, fun stream. Thanks for hanging out here on Spitfire. What would you do to facilitate bringing in MLS 4.0? Who would you sign to your team? What players do you want to bring in? And what players do you want to get rid of? What changes do you want to make? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to read your comments. Thanks for hanging out here on Spitfire. We'll catch you on the next stream where we'll be breaking down the Western Conference. And there are dream signings for 2023 and how to facilitate MLS 4.0. More big name signings here, more action, more fun for us, the viewers and the fans and the players to all enjoy. We're going to be watching along with you guys on Apple TV this season. Apparently, it's the big deal, right? We're going to be able to see every single game. Excited for that. Happy New Year. Thanks for joining Spitfire here in the new one. Kick that like button. Tell your friends. We'll catch you on the next one. Fired up, footballers. Keep it up. Later. Have a great one. And fire it up.